From Northport High School, Varsity Media Sports Network presents this Suffolk Division II showdown between the visiting Thunderbirds of Half Hollow Hills East and the host Tigers of Northport High School. Good afternoon, everyone. Dylan Butler here with Mike Hungerford. And Mike, it is the black and blue division of Suffolk. There is no question about it. And these two teams are right at the forefront among really a bevy of contenders this year, which makes every game that much more important.
People call it the SEC of Suffolk County football, right? You know, it's a conference where you could pick any number of teams on any given day. Anybody could beat anybody, 9, maybe 10 deep at times, you know, in terms of similar abilities. And week 2 here, you know, you have an 0-1 versus a 1-0, and things are going to start to separate after today.
Yeah, you see the visiting Thunderbirds there warming up before the start of this one. They lost their opener 16-7, home to West Islip, a game, Mike, where their head coach, Alex Marcelin, said they were a lot of self-inflicted wounds. Penalties, 17 of them, mistakes in the red zone, turnovers as well. So really the talk this week was about cleaning all of that stuff up and needing to be better for a team in Northport, traditionally always one of the more disciplined sides.
Sure, I haven't seen Northport play varsity football in several years. Last year we did this very game, Dylan, and I was even though Hills East won the game, I was very impressed with Northport, what they do with multiple stuff on offense and defense and how hard they played, and they have a lot of those guys back, and they are certainly a contender for the title.
A year ago, Hills East was 7-3. They lost at Bellport 34-28 in that wild game that went from Saturday into Sunday because of that crazy storm we had. That was the Suffolk Division II semifinals. They're led by a couple of guys who were big a year ago as well for Alex Marcelin's first season. We'll take a look at their players to watch, and you see Morgan Talaferro right there on the left side of your screen. 3-year varsity wide receiver, a guy his head coach says can jump from the ground to the top of the roof of his house. Terrific wingspan as well for Talaferro. When they go to anything big play-wise on the offense, Talaferro will be a big part of it. And he also played a large role on the defensive side a year ago, making a big pick against Northport. And defensively as well as offensively, honestly, you got to look at big Josh Isaacs, number 25 in your program, the fullback tight end. He's been on varsity since 9th grade, a tank who is as tough as they come. Mike, I know you love your football players as those old school throwbacks. That's exactly what Josh Isaacs is.
Sure, we had a broadcast. We had one last night, and we have one today. And Josh Isaacs, and he's gonna bring the wood, as they say, you know, in every given play, and especially against this, you know, wing T offense, running offense of Northport. You're gonna have to fill some holes, and you know, he's gonna be that guy today.
The Tigers come in off of a 34-30 win over Smithtown West. A good one for them. Owen Johansson, a couple of touchdown passes to Drew Miller. Giancarlo Valenti with 2 rushing touchdowns. And Emmett Radzul had a couple of punt returns to set up 2 scores, as well as see the band making their way onto the field before the start of this one. A year ago, Mike, they were 6-3. They had a 2-point loss at Lindenhurst in the Suffolk Division II semifinals. So both these programs made the semifinals a year ago, both looking to make the jump forward. And guys who can certainly help them get there are our players to watch for Northport. If you are a Northport just general athletics fan, you know big number 87, Andrew Miller. Certainly during the lacrosse season, he is one of the best long stick middies in the country. An All-American, he's going to Army, and he leads with that same mentality that he'll bring to West Point. Just an absolute baller. 6'3", 230. And one of the best things I think that Northport head coach Pat Campbell said about Miller, he said when you see him running downfield, you look for antlers because his legs are just gigantic. And obviously, he's physical and he can catch. He is the prototypical Division I athlete.
Sure, Miller, an excellent athlete, had almost 20 points or over 20 points last year with the long stick and from Northport, a state finalist team a year ago in lacrosse. And, you know, he's just that, he's the unique athlete. He's the big-bodied, really athletic, fast guy, very unique. Check a lot of interesting boxes there.
And you saw 51 there on your screen as well. Timmy Cleary, number 51, he was at the center of what everything Northport did defensively a year ago. He took the position at free safety, which in their defensive structure very much plays like a linebacker. That's where Owen Johansson was for years, really. Johansson played last year remarkably with a torn meniscus, just played one side of the ball, then just played quarterback. That meant Cleary had to pick up where he left off defensively, and he absolutely was incredible. 98 tackles a year ago, 6 foot 200. He'll also play right guard for the Tigers.
I loved Cleary a year ago. I thought in the game against Hills East, he was a stout defender, made a lot of plays, and of course against the Hills East running game a year ago, pretty good running back a year ago for Hills East, right? So he was in the middle of that, and I think he'll be in the middle of that today.
Let's take a look at our keys for this one for both teams. Hills East, again, they come in off of their loss, and Coach Marcelin made it very simple for us. Execution, discipline, and focus. And you would argue that at least two of those three, the top two, were not there when they played West Islip in that loss in week 1, 16-7. Giovanni Brown had their lone touchdown, which was a 17-yard sprint to cap a 9-play, 80-yard drive. For Northport, you have to match the Hills East physicality at the line, limit the Thunderbirds' running game, and also handle their pressure up front. Kind of 1 and 3 are similar there, but it's another type of those situations where Hills East have those big-bodied, athletic guys up front. Northport does too, so it's going to be an interesting one up at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I think discipline is going to be important on both sides defensively. Staying gap sound, and especially with the Northport guys in their wing tee, you got to have your gaps and you got to have things covered. And of course, Hills will always have great athletes handling the ball, so you got to spread the field, you got to cover the field, and not stack up and give them cutback lanes and things like that. So discipline defensively will certainly be a key, as well as being penalty free.
Mike Hungerford, you referred to it before. You and I on the call out at Hills East a year ago, October 23rd, and what a show Dakeem Griffin put on. 35 carries, 314 yards, 4 TDs, including this 71-yard scamper to the house. Jack Hellriggle, though, got involved on the defensive side here. Gets a deflection, takes this one 60 yards to the house. Northport trailed early in this game, and they battled back. Hellriggle with the 60-yard interception, and then Owen Johansson finds J.J. Allstrand for the 14-yard touchdown, and all of a sudden the Tigers were right there, and little toss right, and this is one of the plays of the year last year, Mike. Dakeem Griffin breaks a couple of tackles. We thought he might have been caught for a safety. Forget about it. 99 yards to the house as Hills East wins this one 35-21.
He was a handful last year, Griffin, to handle. He was a Tony Dorsett type guy, throwing it back a little bit, and he could do all kinds of things, and he was very tough to deal with. Of course, things change, years change, and he's gone, and now time for new blood here in half our Hills East.
Yeah, Dakeem Griffin not part of this year's squad, so it's going to be kind of a running back by committee for Hills East. We'll take a quick break, and we'll get you the opening kickoff when we return. You're watching the Suffolk Division II Showdown right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media is the tri-state area sports leader. We offer an array of services for any team, coach, player, athletic director, and parent. From game film to live streaming, we are available to cover your event anytime, any place. Looking for an enhanced experience? How about a professional broadcast with multiple camera angles, announcers, graphics, and instant replay? Need a highlight reel? We produce individual highlights for college recruiting and team highlight videos for end-of-season banquets. And when it comes to social media, nobody has you covered better than us. Hype videos, sideline highlights. We can tailor custom videos to make your team stand out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Why waste your time dealing with anyone else? When it comes to sports video, Varsity Media stands alone. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
High school football fans, for exclusive content of the 2022 season, head to the Varsity Media Pass app. Weekly podcast, top 10 plays of the week, game highlights, and player interviews. All the content you need is right here on the Varsity Media Pass app, available on iOS and Android. To order, visit varsitymediapass.com. Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts.
That's complete. First down and more. Touchdown, Oceanside.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media is the tri-state area sports leader. We offer an array of services for any team, coach, player, athletic director, and parent. From game film to live streaming, we are available to cover your event anytime, any place. Looking for an enhanced experience? How about a professional broadcast with multiple camera angles, announcers, graphics, and instant replay? Need a highlight reel? We produce individual highlights for college recruiting and team highlight videos for end-of-season banquets. And when it comes to social media, nobody has you covered better than us. Hype videos, sideline highlights. We can tailor custom videos to make your team stand out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Why waste your time dealing with anyone else? When it comes to sports video, Varsity Media stands alone. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
High school football fans, for exclusive content of the 2022 season, head to the Varsity Media Pass app. Weekly podcast, top 10 plays of the week, game highlights, and player interviews. All the content you need is right here on the Varsity Media Pass app, available on iOS and Android. To order, visit varsitymediapass.com. Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts.
That's complete. First down and more. Touchdown, Oceanside.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. If you're an event organizer, look.
Welcome back to Northport High School. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford here with you. Great presentation, Mike, here for the Star Spangled Banner. You see the large flag, the marching band, and the cheerleaders. Terrific stuff here pre-game from Northport High School.
We got a beautiful day, not a cloud in the sky almost, and great weather for football and a great environment here, an atmosphere, great facility, and great sight lines for the game. You can see it right there, right? The great camera angles and stuff. So hopefully the quality of play matches everything else we have going on here today.
Yeah, just below us in the bleachers is the class of 1971. They're having their 51st reunion here at Northport. It was supposed to be 50th. COVID, obviously, as it has with most of our world, has changed that. You kind of see some of the class of 71 right down there below us, and they're going to be treated to what we expect, Mike, certainly to be an incredible battle, again, of two of the top teams in Suffolk Division II. Both a year ago made the semifinals, both lost in that round. It was Bellport that went on to win the championship. Northport, the 2 seed in the preseason, Hills East, the 3 seed. And we alluded to it during our broadcast last night of Longwood and Ward Melville, that honestly, you can go right down the list, and probably even Pat Campbell said it, the head coach at Northport, you can get probably 9 deep this year. He said he gets the SEC analogy, but he thinks it's even a more parity in Suffolk 2 even this year than there was last year when it was incredible. When you look at the likes of Newfield and Lindenhurst, West Islip, of course, Bellport, you've got to give them their props. These two teams, there's, again, probably at least 9 teams that can compete this year to win the championship.
Sure, last weekend, Northport with a good win over Smithtown West. The score was 34-30. Smithtown West, I believe, was a 10 seed.
They were the 8th seed, and Pat Campbell even said, I had him seeded 4th because they returned everybody.
Yep, very good quarterback and passing game and receivers, and that was a good game. So you could show how the 2 seed and the 8 seed have a pretty close game, and so how much depth there is. There aren't too many conferences where the 2-8 game is that close. And
both of these coaches alluded to that when they referenced how tight this division is. It just goes to show. They both said, look, you've got to bring it every single game. There is literally not a game off in Suffolk 2 this year. Let's take a look at our Varsity Media large school top 10 after week 1 of action. See Garden City. They are back on top at number 1. Massapequa, William Floyd from the big boy Suffolk division. They are 1-0. The Dalers, 1-0. Ward Melville, Longwood. They played last night. The Lions picked up that road win. There you see Northport, West Islip, Lindenhurst, and Bellport all part, Mike, of this Suffolk Division II. And honestly, you could probably just flip those teams around each and every week, include a Hills East in there as well. And I think Newfield might be the most dangerous of all those teams that nobody's talking about. I watched their game against Lindenhurst. They were right there with Nick Lombardo's Bulldogs.
Sure, you could take those teams from the bag, right? Shake it up a little bit and pull a few out, and nobody would be too surprised if you changed the order of things. And a lot of those teams won last night. Massapequa would have won last night. Farmingdale would have won last night. Garden City would have won yesterday over Southside. So a couple teams got to keep pace today, and we'll see what happens here.
This is one of 2 games we have for you on the Varsity Media Sports Network. The other game is happening in about 20 minutes or so. It'll be Plain Edge and Cary out in Franklin Square. That should be a fun one as well. But we want you to stick here with us as Northport and Hills East get ready to do battle.
What's interesting, Dylan, is, Northport's 1-0, trying to get to 2-0, obviously, and Hills East is 0-1. In an 8-game season, when you only play 8 times, nobody wants to be 0-2. You're 25% of the way through and you don't have a win, especially in a conference that we said is so deep and so competitive. In an 18 playoff, you want to put yourself in a good spot to get those, maybe a home game in those rounds and things like that. So being 0-2, interesting to see how hard Hills East will fight today, not to get to 0-2, want to get to 1-1.
Head coach for Northport, we mentioned before, Pat Campbell, in his 4th season as the head coach, but a longtime member of the coaching staff here for the Tigers. Class of 1983. And for Hills East on the opposite sideline, it's Alex Marcelin in his second season at the helm, and a 2006 graduate of Hills West, where he played for Kyle Madden, was an outside linebacker, DN, tight end. Told us, all my coaches said, I think you'll make a great coach one day. And here he is coaching the other Hills East.
Great when guys, coach from the town where they're from, and they go back there, and not that anybody doesn't work out if you're not from there, but the guys who are alumni, and I know it pretty well, they, from experience, you have a sense of pride that you can't replicate or duplicate, and work a little harder than everybody else does.
Well, you know that better than most as the lacrosse coach over at Farmingdale, where you were at one time in the cage for the Dalers.
Long time ago.
So Hills East will kick off, going, as you see there, from right to left.
I'm really excited to see the Northport offense doing. I really liked what they had a year ago. They had the wing T base, which they were able to break off some things out of it in their passing game. And the quarterback, Johansson's got so on.
Yeah, we'll talk about him more in a moment. As the opening kickoff is up. And it is fielded at about the 4-yard line. Nice return down the far side as Northport will get going. You mentioned their quarterback, and there he is, Owen Johansson. Mike, a week ago, 9 of 15 for 106 yards, 2 touchdowns, did have 1 INT, but also 9 carries for 98 yards. He's a better quarterback this year because he trusts himself more. He's got that experience. He goes through the progressions a lot more. We know how strong his arm is and how strong he physically is at 6'2", 212, but he's not trying to show off that big arm all the time now. He'll take that 10-yard dump. He'll find the receivers. He'll go through his progressions, which is what has made him a better quarterback this year.
Absolutely. He's never going to have unreal passing numbers out of the wing T. It's not a spread offense, so it's going to be a little different, the passing numbers, than some guys are on the island.
And already a whistle. And this looks like it's going to be against Northport. A false start on the Tigers. We'll get you their starters on offense after they run their first play from scrimmage, and they are now backed up to their own 15.
Dylan, a friend of mine who saw Northport play last weekend, said the guards are bigger than you think. They just don't look too big next to the tackles, and I can say that right there. The 2 offensive tackles are very large kids.
Johansson, that interior handoff, nothing really doing. Good defense by Hills East. Let's take a look at the starters offensively for the Tigers of Northport. You mentioned Johansson, of course. You've got the Rayo twins, Mike Rayo at halfback, Christian Rayo at wingback. The fullback is Anthony DeMarco. You've got Emmett Radjul, kind of that Swiss Army knife at wide receiver. Drew Miller, referenced him before at tight end. You've got left tackle Matt McGovern, Justin Mack at left guard, Connor Hennigman at center, Cleary and Hecht on the other side of that offensive line. 2nd and 16 from the 14-yard line. Johansson tucks it and gets himself out to about the 20-yard line. Let's take a look at the starting defense for the Thunderbirds of Hills East. You've got a front 3 of Cruz, Johnson, and Caloris. Your linebackers are a really stout group of Isaacs, Houston, Clay, and Sharalumbus. Your corner is Lucas Martin and Morgan Talaferro, and at safeties, Giovanni Brown and Ian Gallup.
Really athletic bunch of people right there that can run to the football, Dylan. Sharalumbus, excellent lineman from a year ago.
Yeah, he will be all over the place. He'll spell guys up front. We'll see him on the offensive side. He's a guy who can play almost every position on the football field. 3rd and 10, Johansson back to pass, in and out of the hands of Radjul, and it'll be 3 and out for the Tigers. And Mike, how often do we see that? A penalty right away just sort of derails everything, and the Tigers forced to punt deep, so Hills East should get some really good field position out of this.
I think right there you can see his arm right there. You answered right. Probably a little bit of the early game nerves a little bit. Has a lot on it. Probably a little too much, right? Needs to make that ball a little bit more catchable for the receiver. Right, to sat down that pattern right there.
Billy Griffiths gets off the punt. Ooh, gets right past Morgan Talaferro. He's got to dive down and get a piece. So Talaferro was in good position to try to return that, but unable to, as the Hills East offense comes out on the field, and it's a first-year starting QB for them in Jordan Heyman, the junior, a great athlete. He's been on varsity in every sport that he's played since 9th grade. A year ago was a starting wide receiver at Hills East. Good arm, a lot of upside, a guy who will get better every single week. His best football, his head coach says, is in front of Heyman. So Hills East with a 1st and 10 from the 29-yard line. We expect to see multiple running backs for the Thunderbirds. Heyman hands off inside to Nigel Clay. Clay gets himself out past the 35-yard line. Good-looking run by number 30, Nigel Clay. Let's take a look at the starting offense for Hills East. Joining Heyman and Clay. At wide receivers, you've got Martin and Talaferro, as well as Futter and Gunther. Big boys up front, Caloris, Johnson, Ralph Hernandez, Saul Adam, and there you mentioned him again, right? Luca Charolumbus at right tackle. 2nd and 2 for Hills East. Heyman again, hands off. There is Clay, and he will get the first down. As they move the chains, let's take a look at that Northport defense. You got Nick Valenti, Matt Diaz, Justin Mack, and Drew Miller, along with Mike Campoli up front. Your linebackers are Christian Rayo, Tim Cleary, Thomas Kraus. Your corners are Gaumont and Radjul. And at free safety, and as we mentioned before, it's a position that very much acts as a linebacker. It's Owen Johansson, your starting quarterback, playing that free safety position for the Tigers.
2 successful running plays for Hills East. We'll wrap on the first play, come back with some zone action on zone insert on the second down. It looked like in a first down, but they have a player down here, unfortunately, right now. Was away from the play, so I don't really know what happened. Might have gotten rolled up on.
Well, we'll take a break as that player gets tended to on the field. 9:21 left here, first quarter. No score, just underway. It's this Suffolk Division II showdown between Hills East and Northport right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media is the tri-state area sports leader. We offer an array of services for any team, coach, player, athletic director, and parent. From game film to live streaming, we are available to cover your event anytime, any place. Looking for an enhanced experience? How about a professional broadcast with multiple camera angles, announcers, graphics, and instant replay? Need a highlight reel? We produce individual highlights for college recruiting and team highlight videos for end-of-season banquets. And when it comes to social media, nobody has you covered better than us.
Welcome back to Northport. Hills East, the 1st and 10 from their own 43-yard line. Heyman hands off, and as we said, different looks running back-wise. That was number 2, Daniel White, the freshman, but he doesn't get many yards as it was a collective effort, Mike, defensively from the Tigers.
It's like running a little power right there. Trying to get power going right there on first down. Good job by the Northport defensive point of attack. Andrew Miller right in the middle of things right there from the start. One of the more athletic defensive linemen you're going to find. And we saw some last night in the game we saw last night. Roland had a couple of very athletic guys. But Miller's one of those guys that could probably play with his hand down or his hand up.
Was a loss of one. Heyman back to take his first attempt. At least it looked like he would. And who it is chasing him down again? Andrew Miller. Great pursuit by Miller, who on this defensive front is a D tackle.
Yeah, he's going to bounce around, I think. I'm just from sight, looking at him, he's like you inside, a little outside. His multiplicity, ability to do different things will probably help the defense tremendously.
Another loss there, so it'll be a 3rd and 12 from the 41. And this is one of those things, if you are Pat Campbell, you want to do defensively, right? You want to force Hills East and a relatively inexperienced quarterback into these 3rd and long situations. Heyman, look out. They're coming full front, and he actually did a great job just to get the pass off. He finds Giovanni Brown at about the 47-yard line, but certainly well short of the first down marker.
Judging by the speed of the rush there, I think they were trying to set a screen up. I guess not. Well, it was a lineman downfield. Interesting play there. I'm not sure if they were on the same page, but 4th down from their 47 looks like they're going to have to punt.
Looks like Radjul is the lone man deep for the Tigers. Heyman is back to punt. That's the danger, right, Mike? Whenever you have your quarterback as your punter as well, you've always got to be wary. Gets a pretty good one off. High punt. It actually takes a Northport bounce out of bounds at about the 35-yard line.
So 3 and out, both teams. Hills East, got 1 first down, and then got stalled out a little bit. Northport with a penalty and then 3 and out. So maybe everyone will get the nerves shaken off a little bit, the excitement. Sometimes, everyone gets a little too excited to play a game. Sometimes you just got to settle in and it becomes practice, right? Whatever you practice, what do you rep out and what are you good at, and just get it done.
You saw Johansson there coming out. One of only 6 returning starters, but there's a lot of guys here on this Northport team that contributed in one way or another, whether they were off the bench, whether they ran scout team. So the varsity football experience is there, even if the number of starters isn't. Short pass that is complete to that far side.
If he had been able to keep his feet there, he might have got quite a bit of yardage. Box from Hills East was pretty full. Good play called by Northport, just slinging it out there and trying to make a man miss.
We've got 32 seniors on this Northport squad, 21 juniors as well, only 4 sophomores, and that's what Pat Campbell was speaking about. Maybe it's not 10 starters on both sides of the ball, but a lot of guys used to this kind of environment. Loss of 1 on that completion, so it's 2nd and 11 from the 33-yard line. Johansson under center, hands off, fumble on the play. Diving there for it was Mike Rayo, but I think he might have lost the wrestling match for it. He did, and look at this, Hills East recovers.
Going with the handoff there, and I think Rayo lost it. The exchange was bad, but then when the ball went to the ground, I think when he sees himself on film, I think he tried to pick it up and stand up with it. And needed just to, get that fetal position instead. And the Hills East guys get the ball. First turnover of the game.
Let's see if they can capitalize. Great field position for the Thunderbirds at the Northport 31-yard line with 6:17 left in this first quarter.
Turnover down here, Dylan.
Nigel Clay is back in the backfield. This time Heyman goes in the air and just misses his intended receiver. That was Lucas Martin, the 2-year starting sophomore.
Try to get him on that slant. Look there, might have been an RPO. Look, little play fake inside.
Mentioned the running back kind of competition right now. We saw Clay start. He's back in here now, number 30. We saw Daniel White before, number 2, but also Giovanni Brown, number 1. And it's something that Marcelin said he loves to see, right? Because that means that they're going to be battling it out at practice. And there goes Clay. Good tackle on the play, but Clay, a nice gain out inside the 25-yard line.
Second time they've ran that play, Dylan, pulling a lineman there. You can see pull a lineman around and use that up back, sniffer back to kind of come with him. Kind of a look if you pull two linemen to kind of be GT or guard tackle look. The old days used to be called a tray, but pulling two guys, you're through there, and that was a good looking play.
3rd and 3 from the 24-yard line.
Probably if you Hills East right here, you're probably looking at 2 downs, probably going for it on 4th down unless you're going to try to kick a field goal.
Heyman fakes the handoff, goes to Brown, and Brown, his momentum took him out of bounds. Let's see the spot here. That's Carol Rose on the sticks, huh? On the far side, the Northport girls lacrosse coach.
Multi-dimensional.
Ball at the 23-yard line. 4th and a long 2.
Great support here in Northport. It's great when you have a great women's lacrosse coach is doing that over there on the box, right? That's awesome on a Saturday afternoon.
And we've seen her too before come up here and do PA as well. And there you see Carol over there with the 4th down marking stick. 4th and 2 from the 23-yard line. High snap over the middle. That's complete. 1st down and more. Lucas Martin. Touchdown, Hills East.
Snap was off, but great job by Heyman getting control of the ball, putting it in a good spot and throwing the slant. Man coverage there by Northport. It looked like no safety help. Just got inside position on the defender.
So Hills East capitalizes on that turnover, and they find the end zone as the sophomore, Lucas Martin, gets his first touchdown reception of the year, and the first for Heyman as well, throwing the ball.
Great 4th down play right there. You know, you can't give that receiver with no safety help behind you. It's hard to give that slot receiver inside position. You have to kind of keep him to the outside, or at least make it difficult and change the timing up a little bit.
Max Futter on for the point after. And that one is angling towards that far goal post, and it is no good. But Hills East has drawn first blood off that turnover. They get 6 on the board. It's Hills East leading the Tigers of Northport, the Suffolk Division II showdown right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
High school football fans, for exclusive content of the 2022 season, head to the Varsity Media Pass app. Weekly podcast, top 10 plays of the week, game highlights, and player interviews. All the content you need is right here on the Varsity Media Pass app. Available on iOS and Android. To order, visit varsitymediapass.com. High school football fans, for exclusive content of the 2022 season, head to the Varsity Media Pass app. Weekly podcast, top 10 plays of the week, game highlights, and player interviews. All the content you need is right here on the Varsity Media Pass app. Available on iOS and Android. To order, visit varsitymediapass.com.
Welcome back to Northport. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford with you here. It is 6-0 for Hills East off that 23-yard slant from Heyman to Martin as the Thunderbirds capitalize off of that turnover and they get 6 on the board. Kickoff is received at the 5-yard line and the return out past the 25. So now it's time for a response. Mike Hungerford here from Northport.
I think the Northport guys have to settle in a little bit, right? You know, a couple tough series on offense, penalty, a couple negative plays, a turnover. So, you see, you're only down by 1 touchdown. Your game is tremendous amount of games still to play. Take a deep breath, right, and run your bread and butter and run the plays that you're familiar with, and let's get going.
That return, by the way, as well as the first one, didn't want to forget him. That was Evan Gomont the senior wing back as well. 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line for Northport. Johansson, plenty of time. Flushed out now to the right. Tries to cut inside. Still breaks a tackle, and now he's forced out of bounds. And that's where that physicality comes in, right? From a 6'2", 212-pound quarterback who's feeling it a little bit after that run.
He had a little spin, maybe he got his foot planted to the ground a little bit, but I think he had to do that over again. He had Andrew Miller going across underneath route. I don't know if that was a mesh on 2 receivers or just Andrew by himself, but he kind of had him and didn't see him and then turned into a scramble and ended up getting a couple yards out of it.
Looks like that was Davian Johnson forcing him out, number 65. It was a gain of 2, so it's 2nd and 8 from the 27-yard line. Johansson now under center, hands off to Rayo. Mike Rayo gets out past the 35-yard line and a first down, and that's what you love to see as well, right? Rayo on his last carry fumbled the football, or at least on the exchange, and this time the senior gets the first down run.
Sure, they kind of go to a little bit of an unbalanced look there because it's tight end left with the wing, with the back with him, and with the wing with him, and a little heavy on that side, and get some good yards for Rayo.
Northport head coach Pat Campbell has known the Rayos for a very long time. They were on his son's PAL team here in town. There he goes again. Mike Rayo cuts it inside, gets past the 45-yard line before he's pulled down by Giovanni Brown.
Yep, just ran a very similar play to the other side now. They put Andrew Miller, the tight end, to the right. He's buried by the receivers on the line of scrimmage and get a little bit of unbalanced look there with the tight end and the wingback.
And a timeout by Hills East after a couple big runs there by Mike Rayo, who is, as his head coach says, a competitor. Not the biggest kid, but he's also not afraid of anybody. He and his twin brother Christian are the same in that way as Mike Rayo. Both, he calls them tough little dogs. They'll put their nose in against anybody. He said it's taking Campbell, he said, this long to finally see the difference between, I mean, obviously they wear different numbers, right, so that helps, but in practice, Mike Rayo and Christian Rayo, Christian's a little bit bigger at this stage of their life, so he could finally tell the difference between the twins.
That's awesome. Good for them and play together and bring a lot of impact to the game here. You know, and look at Northport right now. I see they had to come out, take a little deep breath, right? They ran on first down, they will scramble. Got a couple yards when they ran 2 solid running plays, and they're in a great down right now. 2nd and 2, where the playbook is pretty wide open right now. If you throw a ball, you don't complete a pass, or you run something, you don't lose any yards. 3rd and 2 is a really makeable situation. So, you know, you have Pat Campbell, is he just going to grind a little bit here and run something to get the first down? You're going to take a shot maybe right now, knowing you have 3rd and 2 coming up.
Here we go. Johansson under center. Hands off, they go big power it forward. And it looks like they'll get the first down.
Give it to the fullback right there.
Trying to see the number.
Nice job by number 4, Cruz on defense. Oh, God, just got a piece of him.
44, Giancarlo Valenti, who had a really good game a week ago against Smithtown West. 17 carries for 91 yards. He'll split that time with Andrew DeMarco. DeMarco, the senior, and Valenti, the junior. But Valenti's going to have a lot of time between this year and next year running that football. Athletic, big, strong, and fast. First down from the 47-yard line for Northport. Another handoff. Great cut inside by Rayo. He followed the block of 69 up front. Trying to get the ID on him.
Working that right side of the line, Dylan. You know, big Mason Hecht over there on the right tackle and Cleary the right guard. Bring the tight end there. So he's buried, but the receiver's on the line of scrimmage, so the tight end's buried. He can't go up for a pass. He can only block. But you're talking about a pretty good right side of the line with those 3 players.
So the Tigers on this possession moving the football. 2nd and 3 from the Hills East 46-yard line. This time Johansson Goes back to pass, has options, looks for Miller, in and out. As Talafaro was the defender on that play.
Good stuff right there. On 2nd and 5, 2nd and 4, take a shot. Miller on a single by himself, and maybe like to come down with that one next time. But good coverage and a really well thrown ball by Johansson.
Yeah, we saw him in that first quarterback challenge. He, of all the quarterbacks that were involved that day, threw the furthest. Like, he's got ridiculous arm strength. I think he gets it to like 50, 60 yards downfield.
I heard some people though that said he almost threw 70 in the air, that's pretty impressive.
3rd and 3. Quick out. Great tackle. That was Martin with the tackle. The pass was completed, but really not much to do it there for Northport.
Yeah, just the receiver, maybe has to push it just a little bit further to get past the sticks. And I believe that was number 18. I think it was.
That was Mike Campoli.
Good looking throw and a good completion, but just a little short, and it looks like Northport's going to punt.
Yeah, 4th and 2. Billy Griffiths, who is a natural kicker, came out from the soccer team. It's a high punt, not a deep one though, but it takes a nice bounce. Talafaro will just make sure he watches that one as it is downed inside the 20-yard line. If you're enjoying this broadcast here on the Varsity Media Sports Network, we know you're going to love Varsity Media Pass. That's the website as well, varsitymediapass.com. We've got top 10 plays every week, highlights, podcasts, interviews, so much more. It's available on iOS and Android as well. It's everything during the week to lead you up to game day. And once you finish game day, you're so hungry for more, right? And that guy we had there, Josiah Brown, had a big win for Holy Trinity last night as part of that battle for the bridge, as the Titans with an overtime win over Immaculata from New Jersey, and Brown a big part of that win as well.
Great player, Brown. Highly recruited. I think top 75 player in the country in his class.
Yeah, he's so good, Mike, that he's being recruited on both sides of the ball. So Notre Dame was like, "We like you as a safety." Josiah said, "I kind of want to be a running back." He goes, "They go, we like you as a wide receiver." He goes, "We like you as a wide receiver." Like, it's really whatever he wants. Flags on this play as a false start penalty against Hills East.
Sure, he's a slash guy, like Josiah Brown, and he can play multiple positions, I think, in college, and it'll be whoever school gets lucky enough to get him to figure out where he can best help them.
Yeah, that is a Holy Trinity side that is stacked with tremendous athletes. Dylan Brathwaite, another one. He's going to Rutgers. Irv Briggs on the line, going to UConn. So 1st and 15 here for Hills East from their own 11-yard line. Hills East, we know, is blessed with great athletes as well. Heyman, the miscommunication looks like there with Talafaro, throws it away. And a little bit of danger now here, Mike, for the Thunderbirds, because you've got a 2nd down and 15 from your own 11-yard line.
Well, we had a great punt from Northport. I thought that was a good decision. Try to pin him deep, got the ball to the 15-yard line, and now you had a little 17-yard line. You had a little penalty, 5-yarder from Hills, and now this is a dangerous situation. This is where you have to manage the game. You don't need a turnover here or a negative play.
And you certainly don't need another penalty, which really hurt them in week 1 in that loss to West Islip. Pass in and out. Did Radjul get it? He did. Off the deflection, off the hands of Max Futter. Swiss Army knife. Emmett Radjul with the INT.
Wow, that was pretty prophetic right there, Dylan. That's exactly what Hills really didn't need. But it was a good-looking play. They rolled the pocket a little bit to protect the quarterback. He delivered a pretty good ball. Just went through the hands of the receiver, Futter. And there he was, Radjul, man of the moment, right? Making the play off a deflection. And Northport's in business right here.
Yeah, this now similar to that turnover on the other side where the Tigers have the ball at the 21-yard line. 1st and 10, final 1:51 of this first quarter. Johansson in shotgun. Looks like he's got Valenti to his left hip. Johansson tries to follow Valenti, but this one was read really well and sniffed out by that stout Hills East defense. And they hit Johansson for a loss of 4.
Kaloris first man there. Stacks it all up.
Yeah, they've got dudes up front, Hills East. Cruz, Johnson, Kaloris. 50, Jimmy Kaloris, as tough as they come. Just that old school lunch pail type of kid.
Good looking people, athletic people.
Hand off to Mike Rayo, cuts inside, and it looks like Charalumbus tripped him up just outside the 20-yard line.
Charalumbus doesn't get him there. He might get a score there. He might get to the end zone. Pretty well blocked up at the point of attack. Charalumbus gets him with a hand.
Yeah, Charalumbus, 6'4", 250, a 4-year varsity player, All-State, all Long Island a year ago. That's number 51 for Hills East, Luca Charalumbus. 3rd and 10 from the 24-yard line for Northport, looking to capitalize off of that turnover. Now it's an empty backfield look for Johansson. Ducks under coverage, throws over the middle off the hands of Drew Miller.
Oh my, I think he could have ran there. He's trying to get the ball to Miller. Ball's behind him a little bit. With a lot of heat on it, but if he ran, he would have scored.
This brings up a 4th and 10 from the 24-yard line. Radule gets the play from the sideline. I think with a new kicker, maybe it's a little bit too much to expect of a guy with not a lot of experience kicking the football.
A 37, 38-yarder from here. It's a pretty good high school kick,
So
Gotta have a good leg when it was a little breeze.
So they will go. Johansson's got trips left. Back to pass. Flings it over the middle. There's a flag on the play. And a lot of clapping on this sideline.
2 flags. I think they're going to go 1 on each team, I think. And they're going to have to probably replay it down.
Yeah, it looks like the white hat there was signaling a hold on the offense, but there might have been a pass interference as well on the other side. And that's the initial call you see there, and they do offset. Let's replay the down. Good call by you, Mike Hungerford.
A replay of a down situation. Actually, if no flags are thrown, it's Hills East ball, right? If a flag is thrown for the holding, it's Hills East ball, declined Hills East ball. So that flag thrown a pass interference there or a hold was a pretty big play for Northport.
Yeah, let's see if they capitalize here with this extra an opportunity, right? They're at the 21. This time it's Valenti behind Johansson, who's under center. Faked it to Rayo, who was in motion, rolls out left, throws it low and incomplete. And again, it was Miller, the intended receiver.
Yeah, I think he'd maybe like to have that one back. He had a lot of time to kind of square his body up a little bit more. Kind of threw it across his body a little bit because he was rolling left as a right-hander, and the ball was a little low. Kind of stuff you see Patrick Mahomes do all the time, right? Running one way, throwing the other way, and there's only one Patrick Mahomes. Andre Hanson's a good player, but he needs to square his shoulders a little more if he can and get that elbow up and maybe come over the top a little bit more. I'm not really a quarterback coaching guru. I'll never admit to that, but certainly the ball was delivered a little bit low. But I do like the play call. It was a good play call, and I think probably something you might come back to later in the game.
I would ask Matt Sims that question of the Sims complete QB, but he's a little busy right now, Mike. He's out at Rutgers with Jimmy Cavallo and the MSG crew doing I think they've got 4 games today for that battle for the bridge. So it's 1st and 10 from the 21-yard line, final seconds of this first quarter. Heyman back to pass under pressure, just throws one up jump ball, incomplete. Talafaro was the intended target. Good job defensively there as well for Northport.
That was a jump ball for sure. That was a 50-50 ball in the air. And I think the offensive player there, Talafaro, ended up playing defense a little bit on the ball, right, knocking it down. That's going to happen.
So 5 seconds left in this first quarter, so this should be the final play of the opening quarter with Hills East leading it 6-0. Heyman hands off to Clay, breaks a tackle, stumbles a little bit, and gets out just a bit past the 30-yard line for the final play of this first quarter. So Hills East capitalizes off of a Northport turnover as Heyman finds Martin for a 23-yard slant. 6-0 is your score. You're watching this Suffolk Division II showdown right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media is the tri-state area sports leader. We offer an array of services for any team, coach, player, athletic director, and parent. From game film to live streaming, we are available to cover your event anytime, any place. Looking for an enhanced experience? How about a professional broadcast with multiple camera angles, announcers, graphics, and instant replay? Need a highlight reel? We produce individual highlights for college recruiting and team highlight videos for end-of-season banquets. And when it comes to social media, nobody has you covered better than us. Hype videos, sideline highlights. We can tailor custom videos to make your team stand out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Why waste your time dealing with anyone else? When it comes to sports video, Varsity Media stands alone. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
So great scenes here from Northport High School as we are set to start the second quarter. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford here with you on the Varsity Media Sports Network. It is the visiting Thunderbirds of Hills East with a 6-0 lead after the opening 12 minutes.
Good run there on last down, getting a first down there by Clay. Big, thick wall body, kind of a tough guy to bring to the ground. You can't arm tackle him. You got to get a good wrap, and you got to get him on the floor.
I think that's what you like, too, if you are Alex Marcelin and the Hills East coaching staff. Look out. It looks like Cleary was trying to break right through the middle, and Clay, again, a good carry. But what you like there is, again, last year we knew, right? The ball was going to Kim Griffin, and so often he was taking it to the house or making a big play, right? This year, obviously Griffin is not there, so it's not a one running back to replace him. You've got three different guys, but also in that, you've got three different ways that you run the football, right? You've got big number 30, Clay Wright, a former fullback, linebacker. He's the bruiser, right? You've got Daniel White, the freshman, who had an impressive week one against West Islip. He's kind of more of that running style to a DeKim, right, where he's a tough runner, but when he touches the ball, it's exciting. And Giovanni Brown is a terrific athlete. Again, a different running style as well. So you've got three different guys there who will see time and get touches and all bring something different to the table.
Sure, no one player on a typical high school program is going to replace someone of Griffin's ability. It'd be by committee, different guys and different styles, like you said, and that's kind of interesting. You have to defend them in different ways. They probably all have a little bit of strengths and weaknesses and things they do well in size and speed stuff and everything. And, obviously as a running back, you have to be able to, get the tough yards, make men miss, not fumble, things like that, pass protect. So there's a pretty good list of attributes to be a good running back, and each one of them brings something to the table. So I guess Coach figures use them all, right? And
what you love there as well is that there's an open competition, right, which means that practice is that much more intense because all three of those guys want to get their touches. The same is true even with the center position where you've got 3 different guys. Ralph Hernandez won the role this week. Mike Calora and Alec Spiker also lobbying to get that starting center spot. Northport nearly jumped offside. Heyman back to pass. It's a short one. Good look to the far sideline, and that is Max Futter. Again, interesting story here on Futter. He's a junior who played football in middle school. Then he went to play soccer, and he's just now back on the football team. You can see the speed that he has. Good route runner as well.
Yeah, good little hitch route right there, working back to the ball. I love working back to the ball. Then the outside spin, get the ball in the correct hand, and, able to get some yards after the catch. Good stuff right there.
1st and 10 from the 47-yard line. Hand off to Clay. Powers himself forward and gets to the Northport 49-yard line.
Well, something working there for Hills now, right? They strung a few good plays together, and those little running yards right there, getting 3s and 4s. 3, 4, and 3 gets you 10, right? Any combination of a 3 and 4 and 3 gets to 10, 3 plays. So that little bit right there is productive and wears on the defense, as we saw last night. The Longwood guys, right, wearing on the defense as the game goes on.
Now it's White in the backfield. He acts as the blocker. There's a pass to the Northport sideline. It's caught by Martin, who is thrown back, and some words there as well between the two teams as Nick Valenti threw him to the ground.
Physical play by Valenti on the tackle. I saw a college game where they actually called that a personal foul. I don't know how else you're supposed to tackle somebody. You can't legislate physical play out of the game. You can throw it all you want, you can run routes all you want, but it's still a game of blocking and tackling at its core.
Nick Valenti had a tackle a week ago. Big kid, physical, 6'2", jacked up. 3rd and 4 now for Hills East. The freshman, White, up the middle, and there's a flag. It might have been a face mask. Let's see the call here as White tried to work himself up through the middle.
Good job by White getting the hole pretty quick, but it's a situation where White's a little bit smaller than Clay, and there's difference of size and things like that. A little face mask.
So that'll move the chains.
5-yard variety.
Yeah, and it was a 3rd and 4. Hey, you mentioned that game last night we had for you on the Varsity Media Sports Network. What a night for Terrence Robinson for Longwood. 273 yards, I think, on the ground. Had that 57-yard touchdown to get things started for the Lions. A 23-20 win for Longwood on the road at Ward Melville.
Not big on the roster, but he runs big, that guy. He's a good player. I'd love to watch him. I'll go see him play a day of the week.
1st and 10 now for Hills East. Heyman, another completion, and again, it is to Lucas Martin.
Another little hitch there, stealing about 4 yards, 5 yards on 1st down. That's been a good part of his drive right now for Hills. They've gotten yardage on 1st down, which makes the playbook easy to work with. If you're coaching the offense, we have more options, what you want to call run pass. Kind of keeps the defense balanced a little bit.
2nd and 6 from the Northport 37-yard line. And flags before the play. We'll get a false start against Hills East. It was a great atmosphere last night as well, right, out at Ward Melville. Big crowd. I think it took us like a half an hour just to get out of that parking lot last night. That was impressive stuff.
Yeah, I tell you what, there's a lot of people here today in Northport. There's a huge crowd. The great band here in Northport, very well supported. If it was nighttime, it'd be pretty electric here right now. It would be no lights here in Northport.
I was gonna say, it would also be dark.
Yes, it would be very dark. But some more crowd. Just great to see how supported high school football is now again after the pandemic. And people are so excited to be part of their communities. And great stuff.
2nd and 11 from the 42-yard line. And there is White, and Cleary throws him back the other way. He gets himself out to the 41-yard line, but good-looking tackle by 51 of Northport.
Kind of gained the yardage back from the penalty, and then maybe just get back to third and 9 here. The ball's the 40-yard line, right? So if you're the offensive, if you're Coach Marshall, you're telling the offensive, whoever's calling the plays, I don't know if he's calling his own plays, but do I have 1 down or 2? And if you probably get down to like inside the 35, maybe you go for it on 4th down. If you don't get anything here, you might want to punt. Come on, D!
Heyman in shotgun. Clay blocking for him. He goes sideline, and that is complete to Giovanni Brown. Touchdown for Hills East, 39-yard strike.
Wow, I was sure that was going to be picked off, right? Did you think that a little bit, Dylan?
Watch it again. 2 men there, and Brown somehow comes up with it.
That was a wheel route from the sideline, I believe, from the back, right? Down the sideline, he came up with it. Looked like that was Johansson there, right? I thought he was there. Wow. Great play.
Hills East kind of lulled you to sleep a little bit, right, with those short hitches and those runs, and then they go for the big bomb, and it was the connection, and number 1, Giovanni Brown, he showed his athleticism there to get the ball from 2 Tiger defenders, and the PAT is up, and it is good. So Futter gets the point after attempt, and the T-Birds have extended their lead. It's 13-0 for Hills East. 7:35 left, second quarter. You're watching the Suffolk Division II Showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
High school football fans, for exclusive content of the 2022 season, head to the Varsity Media Pass app. Weekly podcast, top 10 plays of the week, game highlights, and player interviews. All the content you need is right here on the Varsity Media Pass app. Available on iOS and Android. To order, visit varsitymediapass.com.
Back here at Northport, and it's Hills East with a 13-0 lead. This is one of 2 games we have for you today on the Varsity Media Sports Network, and some great games coming up as well. Next Friday night, Mike Hungerford and myself will be out at Freeport as Massapequa and Freeport in big boy Nassau County football lock heads, and it's a Conference 4 game between North Shore and Seaford. We're back here at Northport as they take on Lindy. MacArthur, Southside, Freeport, Dalers. Some traditional powerhouses on the slate here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Nice kick on the kickoff, and it will go for a touchback.
They're incredible Stundeville here right now. 13-0 Hills. And
yeah, I mean, if you were going to tell me before the start of this one that a quarterback was going to throw for 2 touchdowns in the first half, I'd probably put pretty good odds on it being Johansson, certainly with his experience and his arm and his savvy. And suddenly Heyman, again, a first-year QB, was a wide receiver a year ago, getting the job done for Hills East.
yeah, I think, I just don't think Northport's kind of settled in offensively yet and has kind of found, a little rhythm, and they have to get, haven't had too many plays in a row but have been successful. They've got to clean it up a little bit and get going offensively. I think once they get going, they'll find some points.
1st and 10 from the 20-yard line for Northport. Inside handoff. Looks like that was DeMarco, 25. He is pushed backwards, and he's hit for a loss of 1.
Right now, that the interior defensive line of Hills and their interior linebackers are winning the line of scrimmage, and they're playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage. And that's, you're a defensive coordinator. It's great to see. If you're the offensive coordinator, you're not really too happy.
Yeah, you've got again up front Cruz, Caloris, Davian Johnson, a 3-year varsity player at nose tackle, Isaacs, Houston, Clay, and Charolumbus, who will rotate a little bit between linebacker and defensive line as well. 2nd and 11 from the 19-yard line. Johansson now in shotgun, and a flag is thrown. It has been a frustrating first half for the Tigers. It'll be a false start against Northport.
These are the things that make coaching difficult. People don't, those fans who come to the game or watch games don't understand what coaching. But they coaching hard is practice all week, put a pretty good week together, have a good plan, and it just doesn't always work. And they just got to find what works and get comfortable and get back at it.
Johansson back to pass, flings it, finds Radjul, and he gets out to the 24-yard line. A lot of juice on that one, huh, Mike?
He's got some off. He can sling it around. You got to be ready to catch those.
Radjul had 1 reception in week 1. The senior, that wide receiver, 2-back, wing back, punt returner. In the defensive backfield.
That's a lot of jack of all trades, Swiss Army knife, whatever you want to call them, right? 3rd and 6 here. Pretty big down for Northport. I think you really want to get a first down. You don't want to punt the ball back.
Man in motion, interior handoff, jumping up forward. Talafaro matched that jump at the 30-yard line, which
should be very close.
Right where the stick is.
Be very close.
I think that was good recognition. Didn't see the number on the run. Maybe we'll show the replay if we get an opportunity. And they'll have a measurement, it looks like, here. But the recognition, you see the jump right at that line, and Talafaro on the other side also recognizing it. This is a big measurement here for Northport. With 5:39 left in the second quarter, and they trail 13-0.
If they have the first down, it's by maybe the stripe in the front of the football. Not by much. Short.
I see 44 coming into the game there, Giancarlo Valenti. It appears the Tigers maybe bringing that power bunch there and looking to punch this forward a yard.
Attitude play right here, Dylan, right? Who are you? You want to know? Get the good running game, big old line. Get us 6 inches,
Remember, too, you've got a 6'2", 212-pound quarterback as well, who now is under center. Big play in this one.
It's like there was movement up front.
Yeah, I thought it was against Hills East, but it might have. I think it was in reaction to what the movement was on Northport, right? So.
Yep, Hills was jumping around a little bit, but they didn't appear to be offsides.
So maybe that movement forced Northport into a jump, and a costly one at that. Now the punt team is on for the Tigers.
Is there a timeout?
That's a good question.
Referees didn't really signal much of anything that I saw. Don't mean to disparage the officials of the game, but I didn't see it.
So perhaps right at the snap, a timeout was called, and
maybe they're trying to draw them off. Use the hard count.
Yeah, sure.
Go.
Our bad here. Griffiths is back to punt for Northport. So it was a timeout by the Tigers. And Talafaro is deep. Gets the punt off, angles towards the Northport sideline, and takes a bounce for Hills East.
Great field position for Hills East.
Yeah, final 5:21 of this first half. Let's take a look at the Hills East schedule going forward. And it is not easy for Hills East or really for anybody here in Suffolk Division II. Again, the Thunderbirds came in as the number 3 seed. They had that opening week loss to West Islip, 16-7. And they'll head in week 3 home to take on Smithtown West. Then they're out at Newfield, home for Bellport, at Center Reach, at Lindy. And they end the regular season against North Babylon, where, Mike Hungerford, is the breath that you cannot take one from week 1 to week 8 in Suffolk 2.
No, there's not you got to play every week on that schedule. I mean, Smithtown West next week, you said the 8 seed. I said 10, my mistake. They were 8. Very good quarterback and good receivers, and can score points very quickly if you don't cover them correctly. So
Newfield has players. Bellport's your reigning champion. And then even at teams like Center Reach and North Babylon. North Babylon's a team that has such incredible tradition. And look, maybe you might win that game, but you're going to feel it on Sunday and Monday because they will battle you tooth and nail.
And Lindy's got some great players too.
Yeah, Chris Carson, number 1. We had him on our preview show. He had a big impact in that win against Newfield in week 1 at home. 1st and 10 from the Northport 47-yard line for Hills East, who can really do damage here. And that was over the middle, and that is going to be a pass interference penalty. Lucas Martin was the intended target.
Yeah, that's a great call. It's definitely a foul there by
Gaumont.
But actually might be a pretty good play. If he catches it, he probably scores. So, in high school football, give the penalty up and play again rather than give 6, right?
Looks like Martin had the slant route and was perhaps going for something big. He had the first touchdown for Hills East, that 23-yarder on the slant, to give Hills East a 6-0 lead. Then Heyman hit Brown for a 39-yard score to extend the lead 13-0. They would love to get in the end zone one more time here before halftime and really put the pressure on Northport.
Well, but that would change the entire complexion of the game if it was a 3-score game in the first half.
Heyman hands off. Little juke inside, fumble, but it looks like Hills East has the ball. White fumbled the ball, but he can thank one of his big offensive linemen there for jumping on the football. 65 came up with a Davian Johnson.
Lucky to get it back there. Great job by Johnson jumping on it. White, the 9th grader right there. It's got to keep that ball tight, right points of pressure, and get it against your body and elbow and have those points tight and can't put on the ground. Kind of how it's going for Northport right now, right? The ball's on the ground and you got a chance at it, and stays Hill's ball right now.
Yeah, when it went on the ground for Northport, Hills got the ball, and the one turnover that Northport did get, they weren't able to capitalize on. A gain of 1 on that play, 2nd and 9 from the 31-yard line, 4:20 left, second quarter. Clay now in the backfield to Heyman's left hip. Hand off to Clay. Cuts it to the far side. Johansson, he breaks his tackle, gets a couple more.
I like Clay. No disrespect to anybody else running the ball for Half-Hour Hills. I like Clay. I like his physicality. Gets his pads north-south, hard to bring down. Big, thick lower body.
Yeah, he's a guy kind of runs it like the bus, right? Jerome Bettis a little bit. A bruiser, tough runner. Never goes down on that first tackle. And credit to him as well. He was on varsity as a 9th grader, didn't play as a 10th grader. He lost a lot of weight from last year, where he was more of that fullback linebacker. Right now, you see a featured back here for the Thunderbirds. Tough runner inside and out.
Being a lifetime Giant fan, O.J. Anderson.
I love it.
There you go.
I'll give you my favorite Giant after this play. Oh, Cleary and the boys come up big. They sniffed it out. 51 was right in the middle. And nothing doing there for Clay.
Great run blitz by Cleary right there, taking that gap. filling it up.
All right, so I'm going to go back a few years on you, right? Here's my favorite New York Football Giants player, Mark Bavaro.
Tight end.
Right? Lunch pail guy. He was always the guy as a timeout is called by Hills East. He made those great catches. What did he do? Just give it to the official.
No celebration. Block. Great blocker. You know, with tight ends now, some of them are good in-line blockers, like to have it, you know, some of them are, but a lot of them are like, more like just split-out receivers.
Yeah.
You're playing slot and big people. And
I mean, look, even you'd have to look no further than a guy like Jeremy Ruckert, right, who was a standout at Lindenhurst, played, Lindy was a D1 team then.
Yep.
He was a wide receiver, just obviously a freak athlete in high school, went on to Ohio State where he played that tight end position, but he was, again, more of a guy who looked to make catches. Now he's with the Jets.
Great high school football player, Jeremy Ruckert, I would say one of the better players in recent memory in high school football. Just could dominate a game, and even as a ninth grader on varsity, you could see that their potential was there to just be.
In the LIC, remember watching him against, I think they played Syosset.
Syosset made it to the LIC, and you could just see in ninth grade, and the Syosset went the dream season and got there, and a great year by them. And we just see him as a ninth grader, his prodigious ability, though, just what it could turn into, you know.
Fourth and 8 from the 30-yard line. Let's see what Hills East has drawn up off that timeout.
Looks like they're going to bring a little pressure here. A little creeping going on.
Got a man in motion in Brown. Heyman checks. He's got a man deep into the end zone, in and out of the hands of Max Futter.
What a nice ball. What a ball. Put it out there for Futter. Laid it out for him. Futter just couldn't come down with it, but that was a great ball. And the Northport guys did bring some pressure. He got that ball off just as the inside pressure came through.
And Futter had his man beat.
He was open, just couldn't come down with it. Great ball, though. For a first-year starter, I've been very impressed by Heyman in the first half.
So Northport takes over. 2:31 left in the second quarter from their own 30-yard line.
It'd be nice for Northport if they could put a little drive together here. Last night we saw Melville, right, kind of have a great defensive stand at the end of the first half, kind of made him a little momentum into halftime and carried him in a bit of a second half. It'd be great now if Northport gets some momentum here to carry him into halftime. I think they were short a defender there. The Hills called timeout. They only had 10.
Yeah, you see a timeout called there by Alex Cruz, number 4, that defensive end. This gives us an opportunity to let you know if you're enjoying this sportscast of ours, you can bring your game to life with a Varsity Media Sportscast. You've got announcers, instant replay, multiple cameras and graphics. Great for your rivalry games, senior day, just any general promotion of your team. Contact us to book a sportscast. 516-403-2050 or visit varsitymedia.net.
Also do a great job of those hype videos.
Yes, we were out
cool.
at Plain Edge. I think they're the first multiple hype video football team, at least. They were kind of the OG hype video. And, of course, they've got that great setup now with their stadium. And I would hear from opposing coaches who would just be like, they ran that like on a constant loop, just drove the other teams crazy on that scoreboard of theirs. They got tired of seeing the old hype video. So there's a new one now they've got to worry about.
Red Devils have it going on over there in North Massapequa. Good for them.
Yeah, they're currently right now playing here as well on the Varsity Media Sports Network, taking on Mike Stanley's Seahawks of Cary. Fake handoff. Johansson rolls. Under pressure, just throws one up in the air. Incomplete. Some frustration, it looks like, for the Tigers right now. I'm not sure if it was the right route.
Great job by the edge defender there. Trying to see who that was. Trying to get a number. He's got a jersey kind of pulled up in the front. Number 22.
Plain Edge, by the way, currently with a 14-0 lead in that game over Cary.
Yeah, Dylan, great job by Bethea. I think his name is 22 is Shakai Bethea right there. Great job keeping the edge and then providing pressure. Johansson couldn't continue to roll.
It did not play in week 1, Bethea. There's the handoff to Rayo. Look out. Just thrown backwards. Big number 55 with the tackle. Our roster does not have a 55. He deserves to be in there, though.
That might be Josh Isaacs.
Well, he on our roster was 25, but you know what? It's certainly possible because we've not seen a 25.
Nope.
And Isaacs.
That's me. That's John. I'm calling Josh Isaacs right there. That's a great play. That stuff gets me excited. That's a linebacker play right there, right?
3rd and 13 from the 27-yard line. Oh, and another flag.
Been a tough half offensively for the Northport Tigers. If you think about it, they've had some pretty good plays on defense. They gave a 4th down slant for a touchdown and another 4th down touchdown, 2 4th down touchdown plays, I believe, right? On the wheel route. So a bunch of good downs defensively from Northport, but offensively, it's been a bit of a struggle.
That said, they've got the ability and the athletes, they could break one at any moment. Johansson, and that's going to be a hold on the left side of that line. So this is kind of a free play. Just throws it up there. And the official right in front. It looked, Mike Hungerford, like he was grabbing there for his belt, maybe to pull the flag out, which would have then been a similar situation because it would have been offsetting penalties in a play over, right? But instead it'll be an offensive hold. You could see it there, Matt McGovern, that left tackle, getting a piece of Alex Cruz.
Great rush by Alex Cruz. Great get off and getting up the field, and great rush, causing that hold. People talk about holding. What creates holding is great rushing, right? It creates holding, and good job there. And now it looks like a punting situation.
Yeah, Billy Griffiths back to punt again. Talafaro is deep for Hills East.
Of course, they declined the penalty.
This one is playable. It took a bounce back in for Talafaro. It is down.
I think he thought about that for a second.
He did.
Talafaro, and I was like, no. Another moment that makes coaching difficult. Maybe he's got the green light, but let that one roll out.
It's got to be hard, right, for a guy like Talafaro who wants the ball in his hands, right, and
punt returning
sees it there. It's right in front of him.
I always say at the special, it needs to get practiced the least is punt return. I mean, up front, you got to be gap sound. You got to be able to handle a fake and stuff. But in terms of having punt returns in your repertoire, high school punting, the number of times you get a ball in your hands to run around with it is not that frequent.
So Hills East playing with a little bit of house money here with the final 1:02 left. 1st and 10 from their own 33-yard line. Let's see if you got a little bit of a 1-minute offense.
Well, my advice would be don't give Northport any reason to get excited. Right? Just kind of get out of here. And you're up 13-0 on the road. Played a pretty good first half, really good first half. Be happy with it.
Heyman, who's had a very good first half, throws nearly intercepted by Cleary. Martin was the intended receiver.
That's not what they need right there. He's trying to squeeze the ball in. Great coverage. Could have been a pick.
And you wonder after that near pick if now you don't just run the football and perhaps run the clock out as well.
I'd be really happy right now to get to halftime and say I'm on the road and we're going to getting the ball. Northport had it first. You're going to get it. So get out of here 13-0 with a chance to get halftime, go over a few things and rev it up again.
2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line. Twin receivers to the right. Handoff is to Clay. Flag on the play. He's thrown backwards by Johansson.
Could have a hold, it looks like.
And it is a hold on the offense. A multitude of flags in this first half has kind of made it a very start-stop half here between these two teams.
I think it's another issue, if Northport's been pretty disjointed, between penalties and stoppages and trying to get a rhythm going, absolutely. As much as football is played at 4 seconds at a time, it is a rhythm to it, and getting in and out of the huddle, get your plays, get to the next play.
So that penalty is declined. And it'll have a timeout for Northport.
Good job by Northport. That penalty was declined. The clock would start again, would wind. They take a timeout there, stop the clock, and maybe force a Hills punt.
We showed you Hills East's schedule before. Here is Northport's remaining schedule. They are home for Northport and Lindenhurst. That Lindenhurst game right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. They're at Newfield and Bellport. Home again for West Islip. They conclude the regular season at West Babylon. Number 2 seed this year is the Tigers of Northport. You've got to go back to 1991 for the last time that they've won a football championship. They won the Division I championship then. They beat Lindy 49-14. And they won, at the time, was that large school championship in Suffolk County, beating Bellport 28-9. Only 3 championships in the history of Northport football. You have to go back to 1976 for the first one when they had Conference AAA. That's when the Tigers beat West Islip 21-6. Hills East in search of their first championship in their program's history.
Say it all the time. Don't take winning for granted. People think winning is hard. Consistent winning is hard. When your programs are consistently win, everyone should marvel over it. It's not easy.
That's what
There's
we do.
So many things that go into making it happen. It's hard.
That's what we do out here, I think, in Suffolk County with Paul Longo's Colonials of William Floyd. Look out. Blitz came with Johansson, and Heyman just wisely slides at the 30-yard line.
Well, they brought the blitz. The snap was off. A lot of things could have gone wrong there, and that's a really good play by Heyman, just having the heads-up situation to say, let's just eat this right now,
Yeah, he's not trying to make something that wasn't there, and that's, I think, a sign of maturity. Again, an impressive one, too, from a first-year signal caller in Heyman.
I think one of Northport's answers now has been kind of like bringing those edge defenders and kind of coming a little bit harder, trying to disrupt the blocking schemes of Hills. That's probably something the Hills coach will take a look at halftime and see what they have an answer to that. And now you're going to have a punt situation, 4th and 14, and you may have, see if Northport chooses return.
Yeah.
Or they go with a block. Well, if you have 2 back, look like they're in a return situation right now.
Yeah, you've got Radjul and Christian Rayo deep for the Tigers. And again, it will be Heyman to do the punting duties. Good snap. Heyman gets the ball up. Fair catch is called and dropped, but recovered by Christian Rayo at the 41-yard line.
So not a whole lot of time left. I don't think that scoreboard is official. I think it's being kept on the field, but relatively probably pretty close, right? Right, Dylan, you would say, under a minute?
Yeah, I mean, the scoreboard, as you see it, too, we share that time here at the bottom of our screen. So 39 seconds left in the first half. So let's see here what Northport brings. Again, there's just been stalled a little bit here. Penalties and big crowd here at Northport. Hasn't had a lot to get excited about. They had that one drive that was pretty good, stalled at the red zone. Here's Johansson. Cruz among those coming at him, throws it over the middle, and he's taken down. Incomplete pass. Davian Johnson, number 65.
Pretty good coverage. I mean, there isn't an open man there right away, but guy broke open a little bit late. But then the pass rush got to him. Very impressed by the Hills East front 4. or 5, over there they're rotating between bringing 4 or 5 guys. Just their ability to get pressure on the quarterback and disrupt the rhythm of the Northport offense.
Well, that was the strength, really, that Marcelin said, even in that loss, right, to West Islip, said our defense played really well. They didn't play perfect, but they kept playing tough, and they gave our offense opportunities to take the lead. And he said these kids here defensively really showed him a lot with that fight and not giving up. 2nd and 10 from the 41-yard line. Faked handoff. Johansson will go deep and just misses the intended receiver, Nick Valenti.
Johansson's got such arm strength. You know, he's been a little bit of two things in the first half, I think. When he's had time and set his feet, gives a couple times a little too much heat, or a little bit slightly inaccurate a couple times, and then maybe a little pass rush too. And then when he's rolled, he's had a little bit more time and just hasn't been able to hook it up.
So 3rd and 10 here for Northport from their own 41-yard line. Johansson in shotgun. Rolls right. Now the pressure comes, slings it sidearmed, went in and out of Miller's arms.
Had Miller kind of coming across the middle, had a lot of heat on that one. Miller just couldn't come down with it.
Had to change his angle there, huh? Johansson went sidearm a little bit.
It's a good decision to go back to Miller. Usually throwing the ball back into the middle of the field to crush your body is not a good decision. Generally, like us, one of those things you say, don't do that, right? But he was open. Just couldn't come up with the catch, and that's kind of been a little bit, synonymous or symptomatic of what's going on here in the first half of North,
So Griffith's back to punt. Again, it is Talafaro as the lone deep man for Hills East. And Griffith, he's done the job because there hasn't been a return by Talafaro. He's punting it just far enough.
Good job right there to bleed that one out.
Yeah. So let's see, 9 seconds on the clock.
It's the half that just wouldn't end down here. It is, right?
And listen, by the looks of the band on the other side, it's certainly going to be a long halftime as well here. I wish we had a contact or a number at the snack stands. You could have got our order in, maybe. Do they take Uber Eats over there, you think?
We need like a snack.
DoorDash?
We need a snack stand lackey, someone to go over and get us something.
I'm surprised they didn't have a birthday cake for our Ron Pierre.
There you go. Get to halftime. Northport going to regroup. Hills is going to kind of take, get reorganized and be happy where they're at, and hopefully get started in the second half of their offense. But Hills is going to try to regroup and start over.
So that man, number 3, Jordan Heyman, has led the way for Hills East. 2 touchdown passes in the first half, 1 to Martin and 1 to Brown, and that is your score at halftime. The T-Birds with a 13-0 lead over Northport. You're watching the Suffolk Division II Showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media is the tri-state area sports leader. We offer an array of services for any team, coach, player, athletic director, and parent. From game film to live streaming, we are available to cover your event anytime, any place. Looking for an enhanced experience? How about a professional broadcast with multiple camera angles, announcers, graphics, and instant replay? Need a highlight reel? We produce individual highlights for college recruiting and team highlight videos for end-of-season banquets. And when it comes to social media, nobody has you covered better than us. Hype videos, sideline highlights. We can tailor custom videos to make your team stand out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Why waste your time dealing with anyone else? When it comes to sports video, Varsity Media stands alone. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
High school football fans, for exclusive content of the 2022 season, head to the Varsity Media Pass app. Weekly podcasts, top 10 plays of the week, game highlights, and player interviews. All the content you need is right here on the Varsity Media Pass app. Available on iOS and Android. To order, visit varsitymediapass.com. Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts.
That's complete. First down and more. Touchdown, Oceanside.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media is the tri-state area sports leader. We offer an array of services for any team, coach, player, athletic director, and parent. From game film to live streaming, we are available to cover your event anytime, any place. Looking for an enhanced experience? How about a professional broadcast with multiple camera angles, announcers, graphics, and instant replay? Need a highlight reel? We produce individual highlights for college recruiting and team highlight videos for end-of-season banquets. And when it comes to social media, nobody has you covered better than us. Hype videos, sideline highlights. We can tailor custom videos to make your team stand out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Why waste your time dealing with anyone else? When it comes to sports video, Varsity Media stands alone. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
High school football fans, for exclusive content of the 2022 season, head to the Varsity Media Pass app. Weekly podcasts, top 10 plays of the week, game highlights, and player interviews. All the content you need is right here on the Varsity Media Pass app. Available on iOS and Android. To order, visit varsitymediapass.com. Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts.
That's complete. First down and more. Touchdown, Oceanside.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media is the tri-state area sports leader. We offer an array of services for any team, coach, player, athletic director, and parent. From game film to live streaming, we are available to cover your event anytime, any place. Looking for an enhanced experience? How about a professional broadcast with multiple camera angles, announcers, graphics, and instant replay? Need a highlight reel? We produce individual highlights for college recruiting and team highlight videos for end-of-season banquets. And when it comes to social media, nobody has you covered better than us. Hype videos, sideline highlights. We can tailor custom videos to make your team stand out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Why waste your time dealing with anyone else? When it comes to sports video, Varsity Media stands alone. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
High school football fans, for exclusive content of the 2022 season, head to the Varsity Media Pass app. Weekly podcast, top 10 plays of the week, game highlights, and player interviews. All the content you need is right here on the Varsity Media Pass app, available on iOS and Android. To order, visit varsitymediapass.com. Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts.
That's complete. First down and more. Touchdown, Oceanside.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media is the tri-state area sports leader. We offer an array of services for any team, coach, player, athletic director, and parent. From game film to live streaming, we are available to cover your event anytime, any place. Looking for an enhanced experience? How about a professional broadcast with multiple camera angles, announcers, graphics, and instant replay? Need a highlight reel? We produce individual highlights for college recruiting and team highlight videos for end-of-season banquets. And when it comes to social media, nobody has you covered better than us. Hype videos, sideline highlights. We can tailor custom videos to make your team stand out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Why waste your time dealing with anyone else? When it comes to sports video, Varsity Media stands alone. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
High school football fans, for exclusive content of the 2022 season, head to the Varsity Media Pass app. Weekly podcast, top 10 plays of the week, game highlights, and player interviews. All the content you need is right here on the Varsity Media Pass app. Available on iOS and Android. To order, visit varsitymediapass.com. Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts.
That's complete. First down and more. Touchdown, Oceanside.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media is the tri-state area sports leader. We offer an array of services for any team, coach, player, athletic director, and parent. From game film to live streaming, we are available to cover your event anytime, any place. Looking for an enhanced experience? How about a professional broadcast with multiple camera angles, announcers, graphics, and instant replay? Need a highlight reel? We produce individual highlights for college recruiting and team highlight videos for end-of-season banquets. And when it comes to social media, nobody has you covered better than us. Hype videos, sideline highlights. We can tailor custom videos to make your team stand out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Why waste your time dealing with anyone else? When it comes to sports video, Varsity Media stands alone. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
High school football fans, for exclusive content of the 2022 season, head to the Varsity Media Pass app. Weekly podcast, top 10 plays of the week, game highlights, and player interviews. All the content you need is right here on the Varsity Media Pass app. Available on iOS and Android. To order, visit varsitymediapass.com. Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts.
That's complete. First down and more. Touchdown, Oceanside.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net. If you're an event organizer looking for a media company to cover live streaming, action photography, and game video for your event, look no further. Varsity Media travels throughout the Northeast covering weekend tournaments, showcases, and championships. Contact us today to learn about our services and packages at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media is the tri-state area sports leader. We offer an array of services for any team, coach, player, athletic director, and parent. From game film to live streaming, we are available to cover your event anytime, any place. Looking for an enhanced experience? How about a professional broadcast with multiple camera angles, announcers, graphics, and instant replay? Need a highlight reel? We produce individual highlights for college recruiting and team highlight videos for end-of-season banquets. And when it comes to social media, nobody has you covered better than us. Hype videos, sideline highlights. We can tailor custom videos to make your team stand out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Why waste your time dealing with anyone else? When it comes to sports video, Varsity Media stands alone. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
We welcome you back to Northport High School. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford here with you. The second half just about to start. And your score is Hills East with a 13-0 lead over the host Tigers of Northport. Some big games coming up on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Next Friday night, we head to the 5-1-6 Big Boy Nassau Conference 1 football. It's Massapequa against Freeport. Kevin Chipos' Chiefs against Russ Sellen and the Red Devils. Same night, same time, different location. We go to Conference 4, North Shore and Seaford. We come back out here to Northport, Lindy and Northport. We got MacArthur and Southside. Southside gave Garden City a game last night. And then another classic Conference 1 showdown in Nassau County. Freeport at Farmingdale at Don Snyder Stadium. Are you allowed to do that game with me? I'm not sure.
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah, why not?
I don't know. I mean, you probably have so many things going on in a game day, no?
No, I'll be all right. Be fine. Farmingdale, Freeport. Good rivalries right there. Freeport, Massapequa,
yeah.
Farmingdale, Freeport.
Right, you go right down Sunrise Highway there with Massapequa and Freeport. So let's see what we have here, the adjustments made. Certainly from that standpoint on that sideline, you're probably saying more of the same, right? As it was a pretty good first half for Hills East. They were stout and they made plays defensively. They also got out and pressured Owen Johansson. It seemed like 50-50 balls, if you will, like those opportunities, fumble, like they got a lot of those balls.
Sure.
In the first half. Northport conversely struggled to get into any sort of a rhythm. A very disjointed first half for the Tigers.
Well, you know, if you look at the half, coming into the game, we said that Hills East had to be more disciplined, right? They had a lot of penalties the first game you referenced, Dylan, things of that nature, being more organized and more disciplined. They were the more disciplined and organized team in that half. You know, they were. And Northport sort of was the team that was lacked a little discipline, made some mistakes, and, you know, maybe a little uncharacteristic. So the beauty of halftime is everything stops. You take a deep breath. You get to go walk aside. Coach gets to talk to everybody. You know, in high school football, when some guys are going both ways. You don't get coached that much during the game. It's hard, you know. So you get a little break. Sometimes you need halftime. You know, I think maybe if you were Hills, you want the game to keep going, right? But they want halftime Northport and see what your goal here is too. Play the kickoff down, kick it away, play 3 good downs of defense, get in the punt and get the ball back and try to get some offense going here.
And here is the opening kickoff of the second half, attacking it there at the 10-yard line. Really good looking return. Look at this. Are we going to the house? Far sideline, Daniel White, the 9th grader, pulled down at about the 11-yard line. What a return.
No flags.
Daniel White.
He jumped right through there. Good block right there. Just a little touch on the kicker. Good job not blocking him in the back. Penalty free down right there. Good stuff.
And suddenly, you're in the red zone again for Hills East. Jordan Heyman, first year starting quarterback. The junior had a really good first half, threw touchdown passes to Lucas Martin as well as Giovanni Brown.
Still need, if you Northport though, you're playing in front of your own end zone right now. You need 3 good downs of defense right now. Minimize the damage here. Quick, get a turnover, make a play.
1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. Heyman to pass. Oh, so nearly intercepted. It was Evan Gomont right at the goal line.
He catches that. That could be 6 the other way.
And you could see the reaction, right, by Gomont where he knew it was right there for him.
Well, there you go. That's 1 down of football. You need it right there. That's 1 good down right there, right? So you need 2 more, maybe 3.
2nd and 10 from the 11. Again, they can get a first down. It is not a goal situation. Martin was in motion. The handoff to Clay, far side. Breaks the tackle of Johansson, but Cleary comes in after. And like some bowling pins there, a bunch of guys hit the ground.
Yeah, he got some yards there, got a few. You know, bounced it outside there, and the pursuit got to him. 3rd and, you know, a long 6, almost 7 right now for Hills. He then down a football needed for Northport, right? Can minimize the damage here a little bit, hold them to a field goal or get the turnover.
Third down here for Hills East. Handoff faked. Heyman rolls out, looks end zone. Did he get his man? No, incomplete. Futter made the catch, but it was out of bounds.
Futter ran out of room there. At least that ball was put in the only place he could get caught. Was caught by the receiver. It couldn't be interception, not turnover free. I think he got field goal coming here.
Yeah, I wondered if they'd maybe go. And Futter is your kicker. Well, you said it was a field goal Friday night. We got one last night, and now Futter will attempt one here this afternoon. It will be a 25-yard attempt. Snap is good. Kick is good.
Good.
So a 25-yard field goal by Max Futter has extended this Hills East lead to 16-0.
But Dylan, that's a great job by Northport right there. They held on 3 downs, holding to a field goal. Right now, they're still down 2 scores, 16-0, right? 8-8. You scored twice, get a couple 2-point conversions. You just got a tie game. So pretty good job by the defense after the big kickoff return, stiffening up right there. A touchdown would have been pretty devastating right there to Northport, but they held them to 3, kept it to a 2-score game, and now they got to get their offense revved up and get it going here a little bit.
Although I wanted to shout out everybody, all the support system, all the support teams here for Northport. A terrific halftime presentation from the band and the cheerleaders and everybody else involved. Brought us back a little bit, played some 80s music, right?
Great band in Northport here. Great halftime entertainment. It's awesome. Good to see. Great school spirit here in Northport. You know,
Yes.
Northport's, every time I look in the paper, they're winning in everything, right? All the girls' sports are really good. Other boys' sports are good. Very good in basketball, both boys and girls. Very good in soccer. The girls' sports, tremendous. Lacrosse, obviously. Mentioned Carol Rose over there on the box, right? So, great athletic here at Northport.
Great facilities, and certainly judging by the crowd here on this sideline, which is the home sideline, a really good attendance as well on this gorgeous late summer Saturday afternoon. I think it's the last summer afternoon, right? I think fall is officially Thursday.
So here's Northport's chance to answer the bell here, offensively.
You've got Christian Rayo, Emmett Radzul, and I think Evan Gomont as well deep for the Tigers. Futter. And man, they have found the kicker in Futter, haven't they?
Said he was a soccer guy, right, at one point?
He was.
Came back to football. Pretty good find. Good stuff.
And especially when you consider how Radzul a week ago in that win for Northport, a few of his punt returns, he was electric, and obviously they watched him on film. 2 of his punt returns led to touchdowns. They've limited his ability on special teams to get anything going. So 1st and 10 now for Northport from their own 20.
You know, that whole touchback thing is very powerful in high school football. 80 yards is a long way to go.
Hand off to Mike Rayo. Cuts it up field, gets out to the 25-yard line. Gain of 5 for Mike Rayo. Week 1, 7 carries for 16 yards.
I like that, Dylan. Get back some bread and butter. Get a little wing sweep in there going, right? Get back to something you probably do really well. Get 5 yards right there. Some good blocks to point of attack.
Yeah, Northport could really use one of those long, 15-play, 80-yard drives into the end zone type of situations.
No doubt.
2nd and 5. Inside handoff, and Isaacs eating that one up. That was Andrew DeMarco with the run. It'll be for no gain.
Try to feed the fullback there a little bit inside, right out of the wing tee. Try to get the fullback going a little bit. And Isaacs will have none of that.
He is a baller, man. You look at his social media accounts, and he went to all these camps and all these visits. You could see why, right? College coaches like what they see. He certainly passes the eye test, that is for sure.
He is thick.
Yeah.
He fills up his pants and fills up his pads, and he's fun to watch.
3rd and 5 from the 25-yard line. Johansson, Andrew Miller past the 30-yard line, and that'll be good for 1st down. Good 3rd down conversion, a big one there as well for the Tigers.
That was a really big 3rd down right there. If Northport comes back to get back in the game and even win the game, you can look at right there as a big play. Just getting a 1st down. You know, haven't had many 1st downs.
And you go to your kind of safety valve there, right? The guy that you know can get you those yards, and Drew Miller, 4 receptions for 67 yards and 2 scores a week ago.
You know, and if you Hills East, a 1st down's okay. Just don't give the big play up. You know, you have a 2-score lead, play it conservative.
Valenti, hat on hat, pushed back there by Giovanni Brown. Gets out to about the 37.
Fullback going there again.
Yeah, again, you see a bit of that rotation, right, with DeMarco and Giancarlo Valenti. And now Radzul comes in.
That's a good 6-yard game on 1st down. You got a little momentum going here for Northport, just what they needed.
Radzul in motion. They'll get it to him in space. Good block by Mike Rayo. And he gets out to about the 42, close, if not right in front. Depends on the spot here from that first down marker.
Isaac's making the tackle, getting to the football.
And they will give him the first down. And that's what we said, right, about Radjul, where he's just going to find a way. You just want to get him the ball in space. That's what they did.
Well, now you get the crowd go, a little clapping going in the crowd, a little life going here, a little of excitement, right? All those things. That's good. Need that little bit of life. You're at home, playing in front of the home fans.
Inside handoff. Valenti goes nowhere. 4 was Cruz.
Isaac's in the bottom of that pile again. Looks like he might be a little shaken up, but
Shakib Bethea as well, 22 and on the tackle. It'll be an official's timeout.
he went back down. Isaac's. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, that's one to keep an eye on for Hills East. We'll take a quick break on the injury timeout. We got a good game here. It's Hills East with a 16-0 lead over Northport. You're watching the Suffolk Division II Showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
High school football fans, for exclusive content of the 2022 season, head to the Varsity Media Pass app. Weekly podcast, top 10 plays of the week, game highlights, and player interviews. All the content you need is right here on the Varsity Media Pass app. Available on iOS and Android. To order, visit varsitymediapass.com.
Welcome back to Northport. Good to see Josh Isaacs walking off.
Pretty slowly, though. I think he's a little bit. I don't know if he's not going to try to, predict what, guess what happened there. But he's a little shaken up for sure. Don't want if you're Hills East, you don't want to play too long without him. But it looks like they moved Charalumbus into his spot.
Pressure comes. Johansson ducks under it. And Davian Johnson gets the sack. He was the first one, Mike, looking to get him. And Johansson ducked out of it, but Johnson got him on that second opportunity.
Yeah, the front of the Hills East front has really been having a good job, a good move right there, a little swim move. They've really done a good job. Him out of a nose guard spot, really done a good job there, dominating the line of scrimmage a little bit. Northport's been able to run it a little inconsistently, and they haven't really been able to protect, Johansson, consistently.
That was a loss of 5. So another big third down here. 3rd and 15, though, this time. You go back to 87, Drew Miller. Johansson looks his way, checks his reads, scrambles out, sidearm look, trying to get it to Miller, but it goes out of bounds.
Johansson appears to be in a little bit of pain.
I think it's
cramping.
Cramping, it appears.
It's the time of the year you talk to kids about, hydration and being healthy and stuff and everything and doing the right things. And it seems cool, right? But you warm up for an hour before the game, you play the game, you have halftime, you're sweating the whole time. It's warmer on the field, and we think it's a nice breeze up here, but it's warm on the field. And
the
kids
turf
kinda
also,
think,
the heat radiates from the
kids
turf.
feel it's pretty cool, and it's not as, their body is working pretty hard.
Ooh, high snap. Good job to get it down, and Morgan Talafaro's like, what do I have to do to try to return one here? He doesn't.
Probably not today, son.
Down at the 30-yard line.
So, Northport got a little bit going a little bit, but not consistent again and couldn't keep it going for themselves. Now they have to play some more D. The good news was last time they played defense to start the half, even though they were in front of their own end zone, they played pretty well.
6:17 left third quarter. And it's Hills East with a 16-0 lead. They are 0-1 on the regular season. They lost at home to West Islip 16-7. A lot of what Alex Marcelin didn't like to see, at least to this point of the game, has been cleaned up. Not really many self-inflicted wounds at all for the visitors in white. Heyman. Hands off, fakes the handoff to Clay. Now just flings it upfield. Oh, and a catch by Lucas Martin. Breaks a tackle. That was like a prayer upfield that was almost unnecessary, right? If you're on that sideline as a coach, you're like, no, don't do it. And he finds Martin anyway.
That's one of those no, yes. The differences between success and failure is so little at times. Unfortunately, I think he went down on the sideline. He might be cramping too.
Incredible stuff. Really impressive for Jordan Heyman. Really, last week threw a late interception that got hit with a safety as well. Like it was a struggle offensively in his first varsity start as a quarterback, but he seemingly can do no wrong here this afternoon in week 2.
Oh, he certainly has some ability and has some moxie and some poise, I guess you would call it, right, and ability, and wrap it all into one. And he's put a pretty good game together here today. Certainly, has you say about what makes a good quarterback, and part of it is being able to make a play when a play is needed, but also don't create the negative plays either. Don't have them happen. And he's done a good job of not allowing that, not creating that. Throwing a bad deception or a fumble.
So off that big gain, it's a 1st and 10 for Hills East from the Northport 33. They could really put Northport in a difficult situation if they could find the end zone here. High snap, handoff to Clay. Clay gets out to the 27-yard line where he's met. Looks like that was Cleary, 51 in on the tackle.
Good gain on the first down right there, just getting downhill with Clay.
In our conversation with Pat Campbell, the Northport head coach says Hills East is powerful all over the field. Their line is a bunch of big, strong kids who can move. Charalumbus is a handful. Isaacs is a tough kid. He also expected them to clean up those mistakes from week 1.
Sure, nobody wants to be 0-2 in an 8-game season. Dylan, we talked about that earlier, right?
Oh, great job by Clay. Cleary came on the blitz up the middle. He just took a little quick cut and got out for the first down.
Yep, good run by Clay there, and getting another first down.
Watch 51. You see him there trying to sneak in, and Clay just got to the outside of Cleary and got to the first down marker inside the 20 now, in the red zone again for Hills East.
Dylan, we spoke before the game, in an 8-game season, being 0-2, quarter of the way there is not a good spot to be in. Nobody wants to be there, right? People don't want to put themselves there. And the Hills guys are playing like being 1-on-1 is really important. And, still time for the Northport guy. They can get a stop here. 2 scores is not an insurmountable situation right now.
Heyman hands off to Clay. Spins, turns, and he's downed inside the 15-yard line. And you're right, listen, you would argue, it's only week 2, but they're playing like it is super important in week 2, which it is, again,
Well,
in Suffolk too.
in this conference, there's going to have some. I don't know if anyone's going to go undefeated, right?
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm going to predict nobody will. Not that I'm really going on a limb there, but
if everybody beating each other and everything happening, you want to put yourself in a bad spot quick at 0-2. So you don't want to be there.
Clay again.
See, Clay's that downhill runner, right? That square pads downhill guy. He's running like a fullback from the tailbacks, from the running back spot in the spread here, and he gets north-south quick, and he gets a little bit of, linemen love that, right? You stay on your block a little bit, and running back's right behind you, pressing the hole, north-south, wearing on the tacklers a little bit.
Looks like this will be a 3rd and a long one here from the 11.
2 downs maybe if you Hills East.
High snap. Clay tries to get forward. And that time a really good block on Cleary. A late flag as well. 61 there for Hills East was the one creating the block. That was Saul Adam.
It's like maybe a personal foul. They pointed, and the Hills players are clapping.
Personal foul on Northport.
I didn't see exactly what happened there when we were had to be inside there somewhere.
Horse collar, perhaps? Is that the...
I'm not really sure, but they were pretty sure of the foul. They threw the flag right away.
But I was crediting Adam because he was the one who blocked on Cleary, which allowed the run to go inside. So on that half-distance penalty, Hills East is in business. 1st and goal from the 6.
4 downs right here. 4 cracks at it.
You got options if you are Jordan Heyman. Back to Clay. Bursts forward inside the 5.
It's where it is. Your 1st and goal, and you talk about blocking and tackling right there. No matter what you're running offensively, this is where blocking and tackling comes into play. No matter how skilled you are, you got to block them up front, and you have to. If you're Northport, you got to tackle.
And this is not what you want to see if you are Northport. Johansson back down, and that's the thing. When you start cramping, you kind of don't stop, right? Like that's what you were saying about the hydration and how important it is, and that's got to be done the day before and 24 to 48 hours before a game. And when you get into a situation, you could try everything. You could eat bananas. You could try to get water, but it's very difficult to continue to play.
Sure, once it starts, it's hard to get behind. Get ahead of it again, and you're always behind it. And Johansson came out on that last series when they punted, and then he went back in the game on defense a little bit. And you can see him cramping up again now, walking off. And it's definitely those calves. It looks like struggling a little bit. They could not use him on defense. That would help.
Yeah, and you almost wonder, too, exactly. That was the point I was going to say. You kind of try to make him just a one-way guy as perhaps the starting quarterback.
If you can, hopefully.
Yeah.
He wants to get in there and play, though, right? He's trying to get out there. He doesn't want to not be on the field.
So 2nd and goal from the 3-yard line. 2:31 left in this 3rd quarter.
You really get if you run a couple plays here in the Hills, you can take the clock. If you don't stop the clock with a penalty or an incomplete, you can take the clock down here pretty much almost to a minute, depending how many plays you're going to need. Go on the center here.
3-back look as well. Oh, the defense sniffed it out. Great job defensively by Northport. The sack. Let's see if we can get the number there for you.
Great play defensively. Looks like they were kind of coming with an option look right there, but the penetration got up the field so quick.
56, Mason Hecht, the junior He's a 300-pound cat. Has those feet, huge hips, powerful, smart. A big play by Mason Hecht. Ends up for a loss, so it's a 3rd and goal from the 7. High snap. Fake to the end zone. Touchdown. As it was Futter.
Great job by Futter on the slant. Just getting across the line. Officials right there to call it, though. Much closer than you and I. To have a Northport guy timing up the snap count, coming with the blitz pretty hard. He's able to get rid of that ball to Futter. Excuse me.
7-yard touchdown pass, and you can tell that it's really taken a lot of the air out of the excitement here at Northport. They were looking for another goal line stand. They did so well in the previous play to force Futter to kick the field goal, but this time the versatile Futter, and that one is blocked. Dead ball, but the lead extended now to 22-0 for Hills East with 1:17 left in the 3rd quarter. The Thunderbirds are rolling right now here at Northport. You're watching this Suffolk Division II showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts.
That's complete. 1st down and more. Touchdown, Oceanside.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back to Northport, where the visiting Thunderbirds of Hills East have opened up a 22-0 lead. Late stages of the 3rd quarter. A very impressive road performance by the Thunderbirds.
They've played great in all aspects of play right now. I think you've checked every box, offense, defense, special teams. They've played really well. And I think Northport has played pretty well at times defensively, despite the fact they've given up 22 points. Just offensively, they haven't been able to get going at all.
And we'll monitor the situation here, too, on the kickoff as another really good one by Futter. He has been all over this result to this stage. Let's see if we see number 8 coming out, as Johansson was battling those cramps.
Looks like he's coming in now.
And he is.
Gingerly. Problem with cramping is, especially in your lower body, Dylan, you start running, the harder you run, the more pressure you put on, it tends to re-cramp very easily. So it's one thing if you're jogging and you're being a little tender on it, another thing if you're sprinting.
1st and 10 from the 20. And that's, as you mentioned before, maybe an unheralded part of this game for Hills East is Futter's kicking. How many times now has Northport had to go long field? This a completed pass to Miller, who will get the 1st down. And he's a guy, too. He's getting like 11, 12 yards at a clip.
They can have that most of the time. I mean, Talafiero's giving him a little bit of cushion. Obviously, doesn't want to have to worry about getting beat deep. Looks like Talafiero might be.
Yeah, he's feeling his
the
calves
verge of
as well.
cramping a little bit, but that's something they can get a lot right now. And they want to come back to it.
Johansson hands off. And the push forward for a couple.
Got a cramping player from Hills. Looks like it is Talafiero.
we'll take this opportunity to revisit our keys to the game. And again, we don't have the telestrator, right? So you can't physically do the check mark yet. We're working on that here, guys. But Hills East, you got to, I'd imagine, Mike, you want to put a check mark on all three of those.
Well, I think you could flip those right now between the two teams, right? So execution, discipline, and focus. Great job by Hills in all aspects of those things. Improvement from the first week, right? Market improvement on the road in an away game, which, it's hard. I always wonder when you go on the road, a kid's looking around. What are you looking at? You're not in your comfortable environment at home. But they've checked those boxes pretty well. Northport, they've battled them at the line of scrimmage. I mean, they've got, I think, 3 passing touchdowns, right? Hills, 3 passing touchdowns.
Yep.
So limit their running game. They've done okay at the running game. Handle the pressure up front. I think the Hills pressure has been pretty successful here, affecting the game a little bit. Their defensive line's done a good job. So, Northport certainly needs a little improvement there. They just, haven't been sharp, Northport, hasn't really been too sharp and made a lot of mistakes. And hopefully they can put it together over the next, for the, quarter and a minute.
2nd and 8 for the Tigers. Johansson's got a scamper. Throws it over the middle, has a man wide open. It is complete to Mike Rayo. Rayo stumbles, turns, and he's downed just outside the 5.
That's just what Northport needed right there. A big play. Not just a play. They didn't need 6-7 yards. They needed a big play, and they found it. I think he was trying to go to Miller. He wasn't open. He was covered. And he came back to Rayo, who was coming out of that wing back spot, and got open down the field. Huge play.
First and goal, final 30 seconds and counting here in the third quarter. Inside handoff, Valenti pushes himself forward, but his knee was down at about, looks like the 2-yard line.
Solid run by the fullback right there. Getting up inside.
Yeah, Giancarlo Valenti, great week 1 game. 17 carries, 91 yards, and 2 scores. That will do it for the third quarter. Northport threatening to get in the end zone and make this a ball game in the fourth quarter. You don't want to miss the final 12 minutes. You're watching this Suffolk Division II showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Varsity Media is the tri-state area sports leader. We offer an array of services for any team, coach, player, athletic director, and parent. From game film to live streaming, we are available to cover your event anytime, any place. Looking for an enhanced experience? How about a professional broadcast with multiple camera angles, announcers, graphics, and instant replay? Need a highlight reel? We produce individual highlights for college recruiting and team highlight videos for end-of-season banquets. And when it comes to social media, nobody has you covered better than us. Hype videos, sideline highlights. We can tailor custom videos to make your team stand out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Why waste your time dealing with anyone else? When it comes to sports video, Varsity Media stands alone. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
For the best action shots and the best angles, look no further than Varsity Media. Our experienced photographers capture your athletes' best moments right from field level. Plus, we offer great keepsakes like bobbleheads, posters, plaques, and prints. For more information about Varsity Media's photography services, contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
High school.
Welcome back to Northport, where the Tigers looking to punch the ball into the end zone for the first time today. They trail 22-0 here, but a golden opportunity. Get second and goal. Push forward. Touchdown, Northport. And what a gamer number 8 is, huh?
That was too easy. It looked like Hills East was running a guy on late. Only had 10, got to 11 late. That was pretty easy. Good job by the Northport guys up front, getting a good push. And they didn't need to waste too much time there, Dylan, scoring there. They scored in the first play of the quarter, kicked the extra point.
So Johansson with the touchdown. And now Billy Griffiths on for the point after attempts.
Big extra point here.
Kick is up, and it is good. So some life here for Northport. And Johansson, a big reason why. 22-7 is your score. Early moments of this fourth quarter. You're watching this Suffolk Division II showdown on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
High school football fans, for exclusive content of the 2022 season, head to the Varsity Media Pass app. Weekly podcasts, top 10 plays of the week, game highlights, and player interviews. All the content you need is right here on the Varsity Media Pass app. Available on iOS and Android. To order, visit varsitymediapass.com.
Welcome back to Northport. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford here with you. Game 2 of our weekend here. We were out at Ward Melville last night, some Friday night lights in Setauket, and it was Longwood with a big 23-20 win. We are also have a crew out at Cary High School, where Cary and Plain Edge are also in the second half right now.
21-0 Plain Edge at West.
And you also had a score from another Suffolk Division II showdown.
7-3, Bellport over Lindenhurst. Plenty of time to play. A lot of time left. And those guys they play low-scoring games. Defense is hard-hitting defense is usually being played there.
Bellport, the reigning champion, and really the only team a year ago to give Garden City a run for their money in that Long Island Championship game. The Trojans won it, but they knew they were in a game with Bellport. 22-7 here. Here's the kickoff, and it will get through the end zone. A touchback here as well.
All right, so you got a touchback if you're Northport. Long field for Hills.
Yeah, now you get the home crowd excited again, right? And what would a three and out do for you now if you're Northport, right?
It'd be tremendous. And I think Hills needs, like 2 first downs.
Yeah, they need to move the
first
football.
downs, let the clock work a little bit. 2 first downs. Even if you have the punt after 2 first downs, you might be able to flip the field and make the field very, very long for Northport, which will probably take time to move the ball a little bit unless a huge play is involved. So I would say for Hills, 2 first downs right now. Maybe get your guy Clay going again a little bit.
This game different than last year's, but similar in that Northport had to climb back from a big deficit, which they did, but the Kim Griffin had that huge 99-yard touchdown run that we showed you those highlights of, and that was the difference. He's not there now, but as you mentioned, it's been a collection of guys for Hills East, right? Clay has been big. Lucas Martin has been big. Heyman's been great. Even the freshman, right? Daniel White had a big kickoff return as well to start the second half, which led to a field goal. 1st and 10 from the 20. And How about the baller, that Johansson, and he is back in at that free safety position. Run to Clay, gets to the outside, gets a massive block as well by Giovanni Brown. Number 1 for Hills East, a fantastic block on the edge.
They came with a blitz there. You know, with a run blitz there, Northport and...
Mike, watch one here for Hills East. Coming up, bang.
Yep, takes on the filler right there. You know, kind of gambling, I don't want to say gambling a little bit Northport, but selling out a little bit to the run there, and he's able to get up in the hole, bounce around it, get a good run, and you give Johansson a lot of credit, man. He's battling those cramps, and he's in there playing.
Heyman hands off again to Clay, cuts inside of a tackle, and he is pulled down out by the 45-yard line. Another really good run by Nigel Clay.
The play of it, I'm impressed now. He mentioned his name before, was Giovanni Brown. Some of the blocking he's done, you know, as that up back in their spread offense.
And that is one of the things that Marcelin pointed out in our conversation with him about Brown. Says he's one of the best athletes, has a different running style. Once he gets hot, he could be a home run hitter, but he also pointed out he's a strong blocker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
Now they've reversed roles. Clay's the up back now. See what's going to come out of that. Back in the pistol, looks like a little bit.
Handoff, Brown gets the extra push he needs out to the 50. They move the chains again.
Big hit right there at the end. Number 23, Thomas Krause. With a nice finish, but a first down for Brown. He went downhill pretty good there too. Giovanni Brown. They have like you said, you referred to earlier, a few different guys who run the ball.
It's kind of a three-headed monster a little bit, right? With Clay, Brown, and White for Hills East, and they all are a little bit different, right, in how they run the football and how they look as well.
Well, Clay and Brown are seniors, and White is obviously the future, right? He's a 9th grader, and he's the future. And right now, I think you got to go down the road this 4th quarter with your seniors.
Pressure comes. Heyman gets it off to Clay. What a catch. There's flags on the play, but I wonder if this is a roughing the passer type of situation. And I think they'll just...
Hold.
Oh, it'll be a hold the other way. So bring it back.
Great catch.
Oh. And even to Heyman, right, with the pressure coming to get that ball off, to get it to Clay.
They have a steady dose of blitzing now from the Northport, defense trying to make a play, right? Trying to, knock a ball loose, knock a play, create a loss. Once again, how do you create losses? A holding penalty creates a loss. Now you have a 1st and 20.
Pushing the ball all the way back. You were out at the 50, and now you're back at the 36-yard line.
You've gotten 2 first downs, Hills, though, referencing my point I made a few minutes ago. They've gotten 2 first downs, so...
They've taken, about 2 minutes off the clock?
Let's go easy right now, and, don't try to get all 20 yards in one play. Let the clock work a little bit, and if you have to punt it, you've eaten a good amount of time here.
Heyman pointing at all his guys. High snap. Pressure comes from Drew Miller with the sack. Miller came strong side and got a massive sack for Northport.
Got some flags here on the perimeter. Yeah, you have some activity here on the perimeter. I think it's going to be a personal foul one way or the other, offsetting both ways, or I'm not really sure.
Let's see the call. Personal foul on Hills East. And that, I believe, was that after the play? The sack pushes Hills East back to the 26-yard line. And really the best thing that could have happened for Northport with all of this is the clock has stopped.
Yeah, none of this is good for Hills East. I mean, they're losing yardage again here, but it's really good for Northport in the fact the clock has stopped, loss of yardage. You know, all these things are good for them in order to get the ball back and try to climb back into this game.
Doesn't Hills East know that we already checked all those boxes off for their keys? They've now gone backwards inside their own 15.
This is 1st and 46. Say that a few times.
Yeah, this is like first and pretty much like to your house, I think, from here in Farmingdale. It is a long distance to go for a first down. You've got to get out to the 40-yard line of Northport. And another official's timeout to talk it over. I think they were checking on the box on the far sideline. It was first down, so it will be second down.
Yeah, because the play counts with the sack.
Yes.
So that's second down.
Back on their own 13-yard line.
Run the ball twice and punt.
And you see what Heyman is doing too, right? He's looking back at the white hat, and he just wants to make sure, let me know when there's 5 seconds left to get the play off. Trying to milk as much time off the clock as possible. There is Clay pushing forward. Cleary in on the tackle.
Inside run right there. It's okay.
Christian Rayo in on the tackle as well. Gets the ball out to about the 19-yard line, and you expect Heyman to do the same as well. Savvy move there by the QB.
You know, if you're Hills now, right, there's some schools have thought that would say, well, if you throw a ball up, maybe you get a pass interference penalty or something like that. In high school football, pass interference is not an automatic first down. It's a spot foul. It's a 15 yards from where it is, not necessarily an automatic first down. You know, so you run the ball here and you punt, you're in a pretty safe spot.
See it again, right? Look at Heyman looking back at the white hat. White hat puts his hand up, and now it's time to run the play. High snap, inside handoff, and again, Christian Rayo, 41, brings it. And how about the strength of Nigel Clay pushing forward, and another late flag. A block in the back. Yeah, it's a smart decline there by Northport. Don't let him run another play, run more time off the clock.
Coach Marshall must be beside himself. It's exactly what happened to him last week at times, right? These mistakes and these penalties, and they've kind of fallen back into it in the fourth quarter. Don't let that be a thing.
All right, maybe this is a chance for Radjul to impact the game on the punt return. He and Christian Rayo are deep. Heyman is back to punt for Hills East. Band strikes up Don't Stop Believin' by Journey. And again, Heyman wants to take as much time off the clock as possible. Gets off the punt. It's a good one. It's going to be a tough return. It is caught by Rayo. And
great job by Rayo saving some yardage there. The ball might have hit and rolled. And time is time is not of the essence yet, but you don't have a lot of time, so you have to make a little bit of haste, save the little yardage there on the punt return.
All right, so on the last drive, Johansson was able to get in for a 1-yard score. Their first touchdown of the day, 22-7 is your score. And you see there, 6:33 left in the fourth quarter. You have the ball at the 46-yard line. The one player, it appears, at least from our vantage point, that Hills East has not had the answer to has been big number 87, Drew Miller.
You can get a hitch to him whenever you want. Yep, there.
And thrown to the outside, incomplete.
Yeah, that's good. That's smart defense by Hills, and the fact that, give up 5-7 yards on the hitch and come up and make a tackle. Don't give up a big play over the top for an easy, quick score. The quick score is what Northport might be looking for, and Hills doesn't want to have happen on their end. So.
Second and 10 from the 46-yard line. And a flag is thrown.
I think Hills is offside.
Yeah, they are. It seems like maybe they're trying to make up those 17 penalties here in the final few minutes of this game.
Well, they've had 5, I think. This is the 4th or 5th penalty in the last few minutes.
So that pushes the ball up to the 41-yard line. A very manageable 2nd and 5.
With the ability of Johansson and the skill players he has, you're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination right now.
Miller in motion to that far side. Where he goes Morgan Talafaro. Pressure comes, dumps it out. Spin by Valenti. Spins again, a stiff arm. Valenti is finally taken down by a host of Hills East tacklers inside the 40.
A lot of work to get a couple yards, but he had that ball loose for a minute. I thought he quickly got his hand over it and covered up. It was a great job because that ball could have been punched out. And he got a second hand on it.
He's pulled down at the 39-yard line. Clock continues to wind.
Sorry, Dylan, if you apologize. If you Northport here, you got 2 downs to get a first down here, no doubt.
Miller's at the bottom of your screen. Johansson looks the other way, rolls out, looks for options, throws on his back foot, finds a man just over the head of Emmett Radjul.
They kind of bracketed Miller on the bottom of the screen. They had the corner bailing a little bit and an outside backer, safety type kind of underneath them, kind of taking that short stuff away.
So 4th and 3, 5:37 left. So you don't obviously need to go end zone. You can move the chains, get a fresh set of downs. You'll stop the clock in doing so as well. But a huge play here for the Tigers.
See what they have here. Now Miller to the wide side of the field now.
And they've moved them around.
See if this edge defender on the edge of the box here drops off and helps. Timeout by Hills.
Yeah, Marcelin just waited as long as he could, right, to see what the play was going to be. And he called the timeout. We want to take a look forward a little bit here at what we've got for you on the Varsity Media Sports Network, and a great host of games coming up. Massapequa and Freeport, the Chiefs, defending champions in Nassau Conference 1 and the preseason number 1 seed. Freeport, that team that was young for a couple of years, and they're maturing now with Russ Sellin at the helm. That should be a fun one out at Freeport. Always is under the lights there. We've got North Shore and Seaford, another Conference 4 clash. And we're back here for Lindenhurst and Northport. We've got MacArthur and Southside, and we head out to the Dale for Freeport and Farmingdale. That should be a lot of fun as well. All those games right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. You want to subscribe to us here on our YouTube channel.
Massapequa were defending Long Island,
yes,
Class 1 champion, and North Shore for defending Long Island Class 4 champion.
So here we go, 4th and 3. Johansson, the quick out, first down. Huge play. He didn't this time go to Miller. He went to Nick Valenti.
Very good execution right there. Just take what you needed, turn, make the catch.
So
Good
they're
execution.
at the 30-yard line now in Northport, as we're approaching 5 minutes left. Valenti runs to the far side. They're going to hurry up a little bit now, Northport will. Johansson under center. Hands off to Rayo. Rayo bounces it outside, cuts it in just shy of the 20. A good 9-yard scamper there, looks like, by Mike Rayo.
But like I said before, I'm balanced folk with the buried tight end and the receiver, and they run that way, get some good yardage, get 9 yards right there. You got to squeeze a run, and I know, Dylan, people think you're down by 2 scores, the clock's going to spin. But you squeeze a run in there every now and then. That's as good as a pass every once in a while.
And again, the clock will stop on the moving of chains anyway. So 2nd and 1 from the 21-yard line. Radul in motion, the fake to him. Johansson's got plenty of time, throws over the middle, in and out of the hands. It looked like both guys who were vying for that ball with their hands on their heads. Defending was Lucas Martin, who looks to be a little bit shaken up. And looks like the intended receiver there. Was that 16? Hard to see the number there. Might have been 18.
I missed the number, Dylan, to be honest with you, but he was cramping up in the end zone. It looks like Martin, but a little fake toss there and the play action. And he had the receiver late and a good catch up by getting a hand in there by Martin to make the play.
So 3rd and 1, 4:21 left in the 4th quarter.
I like that play call there, going for taking a shot right there to the end zone. We only have 1 yard to get for a first down. Now you have 3rd and 1. You have 2 downs to get 1 yard to keep your drive going. And almost a touchdown for Northport. Lindenhurst, a couple scores, now leads Bellport 16-7.
There you go.
Almost the end of the 3rd quarter.
I'll tell you, they trailed Newfield at home last week. They didn't have a very good first half. They turned it on in the second half after all the halftime festivities there at Lindenhurst Middle School, and they played really, really well in that second half. Chris Carson made a few really big plays for the Bulldogs. Here we go, 3rd and 1 from the 21-yard line. Johansson under center. Fakes the handoff, takes it himself. Great cut inside, has another blocker. And he gets downed inside the 10. Owen Johansson cramping up earlier. You cannot keep this guy from being on the field.
He was going to the edge there, and the edge defender for Hills kind of boxed him in, and they had a great cut, put his foot in the ground, took it north-south. 1st and goal.
1st and goal from the 10.
Not the worst 1st and goal.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Right? Almost 11,
You cannot have a longer, of course you can with a penalty, but Johansson under center again. This time he does go to Rayo. Rayo cuts inside, breaks a tackler, takes a man with him,
just short.
And he's downed at the 1. He absolutely is a tough little dog, as his head coach, Pat Campbell, calls him.
So you're down 15. So you'll need a 2-point conversion, and you'll need a...
Johansson, he is in.
Quarterback sneak, big strong guy, lean over the top, just gets over.
So I was going to say, I don't know if I chase it yet.
No, yeah, I would say you probably have to kick the extra point here.
Yes. So a pair of quarterback keepers by Owen Johansson has given Northport some life here. And Griffith back to attempt this very important PAT. This one will get over.
Good rush there. He almost got it. Hills just got it over.
Owen Johansson, number 8 there. Maybe he's got the Superman cape on for Northport. He's got the Tigers within a score. 3:22 left. You don't want to miss the end of this one. You're watching it all right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Varsity Media covers every sport at every level from every angle. Game film, recruiting videos, highlight videos, sportscasts.
That's complete. First down and more. Touchdown, Oceanside.
Photography, live streaming. You name it, we offer it. Don't leave your video needs to amateurs. Trust the pros. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or visit us online at varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back here to Northport High School. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford on hand with our entire Varsity Media crew. We've got a good one. It's come down here late. 22-14 is the score. It was 22-0 earlier in the second half, and the Tigers have chipped away. Owen Johansson, after cramping up, after having to come to the sideline for treatment, 2 quarterback keepers, 2 all-important PATs, and here we go. Final 3:22 as Northport is attempting the miraculous comeback.
I'm not sure if personally in this spot, I'm not a fan of onside kicking only because if you kick it away and you get a stop, you have a shorter field. If you give them the ball in the middle of the field and you get a stop and they punt, you're giving yourself a longer field. So at 3:22, with some timeouts, there's still quite a bit of time.
And you can see on the sideline, on the far side, the Hills East sideline, they're pushing their guys back, not expecting it. It is a long kick, and this one again will go right through the back of the end zone. So it'll be a touchback, a 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line for Hills East. They came into this game 0-1, losing week 1 to West Islip, 16-7. It was a 34-30 win for Northport, who held off a late charge by Smithtown West in week 1.
Well, they had it going their way most of the game, Hills East. They really did, and they kind of had some miscues, and Northport I don't think they woke up, but things changed a little bit. They made a couple plays, and now you're in a 1-score ball game right now, and Hills has to get a first down here, move the ball a little bit to get the game kind of finished their way. Even if you have to punt, Hills, they still have to score and go for 2 and get it. So, you have a lot in your pocket, and poise is, we had poise is one of those things in the beginning, right, Dylan, talking about having poise and making good plays and limiting mistakes. Here we are.
Oh, man. That's not the way you want to start the drive. If you are Hills East, you're already at your own 20, and now you're backed up. And it's funny because for 3 quarters we were giving them all the credit, right, for cutting out those penalties, and they just seem to be contagious at the worst time for Hills East.
Sure is contagious. I mean, they try and find a way to do something right now.
Heyman under pressure, and it looks like Miller gets him.
I'm surprised he was going to throw the football there. The ball is in place, and the clock is going to run, but
Miller is so quick.
Sure, Northport's gotten back in the game behind the strength of their best players. Johansson, Miller, they've made plays here in the fourth quarter. The big catch.
2nd and 16 from the Hills East 14.
Big catch by Rayo, right?
Wow. False start. I got to say, look, I was crediting Heyman before, but I almost wonder if they went to like a prevent offense a little bit too quick, right? How many times has he been looking at the white hat, looking for the play clock, as now Hills East calls timeouts? They are just all out of sorts.
Well, I think I'd almost think you want to bring everybody in and say, hey guys, we're winning the game by 8 points.
Yeah.
You can't lose the game right now. The worst thing that could happen is the game gets tied, right? You have to keep playing. So you got to play like a team with the lead, not play like are you motivated to win or you're afraid to lose right now, And I think right now Hill's in a spot where they're a little afraid to lose, and the fear of losing is kind of in effect, and it's an issue.
They have tightened up.
Yes, they certainly have, yes.
And in that huddle, I think they're trying to figure out who's the guy or guys, right, who will alleviate some of that pressure. We know who they are on the other sideline because we've seen it in this fourth quarter. It's Johansson, it's Miller, and a few others, those seniors that you need.
Well, 30 minutes ago, in real time, Northport was dead in the water.
Yes.
They hadn't scored any points, so now they're sort of playing with house money a little bit here. Like they're kind of like, how do we get back in the game? And here's all good old momentum, right? That play.
So out of the timeout, it'll be a 2nd and 21 from the 9-yard line.
Even if you run the ball twice and punt, it's okay. You can't turn it over.
Heyman in shotgun. He's got Clay to his right. Hands off to Nigel Clay. And he gets out to about the 15. It'll be a timeout by Northport. .225 left on the game clock.
Sure, now you're going to run the ball one more time and probably have to punt and force Northport to use, another timeout.
In our conversation with Pat Campbell, he says, I feel like our skill guys can match up with anybody. Andrew Miller is a D1 athlete. Tim Cleary was an all-division selection a year ago, and Mason Hecht is right there. We've got good experience. Guys who have played at a high level last year. Not a lot of guys playing for us who had no role a year ago, and maybe those kind of things are coming up big here late for Northport.
Maybe all of a sudden, you're playing in a game, and Dylan, it's very hard in a game of any sport you're playing to play really good the whole game.
Sure.
Really,
there's going to be ebbs and flows.
There's going to be ebbs and flows, and the question is, when are the ebbs and flows? And sometimes the big plays in the second quarter mean as much as they mean now. How big was the stop by Northport off the kickoff return?
Right.
By Hills,
to hold them to
a field goal. If they had scored Hills a touchdown, this game might we not even be having these conversations right now. The game might be over. So, it's one of those things. Big plays happen all the time. When do you make those plays? And do you make enough for them?
3rd and 16 off the Northport timeout. Handoff, look out, Miller again. Cleary, what a job by Brown just to break those tackles. Goes far sideline, and Johansson gets him.
Great. An unbelievable run there. I don't know how many yards he got out of it, but he ran about 70 yards. It seemed like.
Well, he got pushed back to the 5.
Miller and Cleary both had him, and he kind of got away from it. Good thing for Hills, he didn't run out of bounds right there.
Yeah.
He really ran out. How would it help Northport tremendously?
Yeah, Northport forced to take another timeout here. They stopped the clock with 2:13 left. It is a 4th and 12 from the 18-yard line.
I mean, Miller and Cleary have kind of taken the game over a little bit defensively in terms of on the ground game of being around the ball and making plays. And those two guys have a relentless motor. They just keep playing they play every down,
Yeah, they do not leave the fields, and there you see, this is probably one of the only times that Johansson's able to get a little bit of a breather. You've got Christian Rayo and Emmett Radjul deep for the Tigers. And interesting here to note, they've just switched sides. So Radjul is towards the Hills East sideline now, and Christian Rayo out at the big N at midfield. This has to be a good snap. It is dead on perfect. And a really good punt as well by Heyman. There will not be a return, but Northport has the ball at the 45, and 2:07 is a lot of time here for the Tigers.
Hills guys should be saying, guys, we can't lose the game. All we can do is keep having to play more football, right? Keep the ball, right now, keep the ball in front of you. Tackle the football, keep it in front of you. Don't get it thrown over your head.
You have to figure, too, Mike, on this Northport sideline, they were probably thinking, we'll get the ball back with like a minute left, right? They've got an extra minute now to play with after those penalties and having to obviously take your timeouts, but
watch him sneaking a run here in Dillon. Watch him maybe sneaking a run. Everyone's thinking the ball's got to get thrown, right? Watch him sneaking a run in here maybe.
And there it is to Mike Rayo. He gets out to the 42-yard line.
Cherumbus. Looks like they're making the play. Looks like Isaac's back in the game.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Big 55. Good to see him back in the game. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7. 1:42 and counting on the game clock. Johansson now in shotgun. Throws it to the far sideline. That is complete. Bouncing, staying inside. Now the clock will stop. It looks like to move the chains at the 35-yard line.
That was some collision right there, boy.
That was Evan Gomont, number 21, with the reception.
Good job by Gomont getting some yardage. He just couldn't get out of bounds there, to get the first down. He stayed in bounds, but the clock's going to, wind after they move the chains. Northport's got to get in and out of the huddle pretty quick here.
And they do. Ball at 35. They now wind the clock. Minute 21 left.
Northport guys, the Hills guys seem very recognizing where Miller is at all times.
Johansson, pressure comes, finds Miller. Miller breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle. Andrew Miller is pushed out at the 1-yard line.
I just said it, Dylan. They knew where he was. They lost him there. I think he was from the tight end spot, right? From the inline tight end spot. He came across on that shallow drag. A little deeper than linebacker depth, and they kind of lost him there a little bit. And they kind of knew where he was all along. They lost him there.
That was Morgan Talafaro who made that touchdown-saving tackle. Wow. 1st and goal from the 1. Johansson has punched it in here from a yard out twice. He goes for a 3rd. He's in. Owen Johansson. A 1-yard touchdown run, and here we go. 2-point game, 1:03 left.
Bill's defense wasn't really set there.
He kind of walked in, Johansson.
Looked like they were trying to sub a player for a minute, Coach Marcelin. Probably a pretty good time maybe to take a timeout and get organized, because you can win the game right here.
Yeah, Marcelin is all the way out towards midfield. Thought he was calling the timeout.
Got trips here. First time we see a trips formation like this.
And this is the game. Johansson back to pass. Looks end zone off the hands of Andrew Miller.
I think they went 2 in and 1 out there, which is a typical trips formation down by the goal line to run two under and 1 out. If you see it again, Dylan, let's see if we see the whole play here. You got double slant, and the inside receiver runs an out cut, and think he needed to maybe hold that ball just a second longer before he tried to get it to Miller, and then maybe come back to one of the undercuts.
So 1:03 left. Now you obviously have to onside kick if you are Northport.
Yes, you definitely have to onside kick here if you're Northport. We had one last night, Dylan.
That was a close one.
It was a close one because, I think they had the edge runner, last night in the Longwood game. William Floyd tried one, and they had the edge runner supposed to be the bat the ball in guy, right? Or handle it, bat it in, keep it batted in. He just missed it. It was pretty well executed, though.
Sorry, Mike. I wonder how many times Griffiths has even done this. I'm surely he has, right, at practice.
Sure.
But not in a live situation, I don't think.
No, not too often. What's one of those things you practice at the end of the year? How many times you got to do this, Coach? Usually a pretty successful season. Not very often,
All right, hands team up front for Hills East. You see Clay and Brown.
There's a 4-man side and there's a 6-man side.
A lot of movement here for Hills East.
You're going to the 6-man side.
And it is recovered by the T-Birds. They will survive and advance in this one.
Oh, I don't know. They have to snap a ball a couple times.
Fair shout. This
quarter is it's been a tale of different quarters, right? For 3 quarters, it was pretty much all Hills. And late in the 4th quarter, Northport got a big play to one of the Rayos from Johansson and got some life, and they've dominated the 4th quarter. And it's just, Coach Campbell, maybe the learning point is you can't start playing this hard this late, right?
By the way, who's the one who jumps on the ball? Of course, Max Futter. He's been all over the place for Hills East. And this is, listen, they call football the war of attrition, and this is an example of it here. Between these, you want to be a head coach? Okay.
This is what you're in for. Here it is.
So minute 2. Left in this one, the ball at the 44-yard line. Heyman takes a knee. Not that traditional, right, like victory formation, but still accomplished what he wanted to get done there. Heyman with 3 touchdown passes to Giovanni, or first to Lucas Martin, then to Giovanni Brown, then to Max Futter. Futter kicked a field goal as well. It was 22-0 with 1:17 left in the 3rd quarter, and then Owen Johansson put on his Superman cape. 3 short touchdown runs and got it to 22-20, and they had the look that they wanted, trying to get the ball to Andrew Miller, but an incomplete pass on that 2-point conversion.
Dylan, let me ask you. The youngest guy in the game today, the 9th grader for Hills, Daniel White, had one of the biggest play of the game, I think. He had the kickoff return, right? They got him down there, and they end up kicking a field goal out of it, right? There's the difference in the game on the scoreboard right now. So the youngest guy here with a really, really big play.
And that was that 25-yard field goal by Futter that made it 16-0 in the first few seconds of the 3rd quarter.
That's where specials come in, that kickoff, coverage team. It's pretty important. 8 seconds you played right there, So all the things matter. There are a lot of ways to lose a football game. More ways to lose one than there are to win one. And a little bit of both from both teams here today. Great, very exciting 4th quarter.
Hey, before we go off air, I want to say happy birthday to Ron Pierre, one of our camera guys.
Camera work extraordinaire, Ron.
100%. Ron Pierre. Happy birthday to him. Oh, he even made the graphic with a happy birthday. I want to also thank our executive producer, Ben Turchin. I don't know how much we want to thank him, though. He had his food review at halftime. He had some stuff to eat. We had nada. Our technical director, Chris Sweeney, as well as Angelo Caezo from my broadcast partner, Mike Hungerford. I'm Dylan Butler, thanking you for joining us from Northport High School, where, again, your final score. Hills East survives. They beat Northport 22-20 here in Suffolk Division II. Thanks for joining us here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We'll see you next time.